Scarlett. Will they have a situation where they do that? Will Carrazzo play on Selwood? We'll find out in about 2 minutes' time.
Kelly Underwood's in the front row.
Jared, it's a full house. They sold out all general admission tickets. They're expecting up to a record crowd. That record in 2009, 54,444. It could go close. Real buzz around the ground in anticipation, Jared.
That was the opening siren. It is Geelong and Carlton on Friday night footy. You're with Adam White.
It looks at this stage, Chris Judd with Joel Corey. Up goes the bounce, a perfect bounce, and it's a Carlton footy to Allard. Kick those smothered. Kelly with the first meaningful kick for the Cats. Out towards the broadcast wing. Simpson though collects. Hand passes to Laidler playing against his old side. His kick was cut off on the bounce by Kelly. Working with Corey with hand passes. Then Kelly's hand pass to Taylor Hunt, put him under pressure, turns it over, comes to Judd from Allard. He spots a player at half forward all alone its weight. He marks, kicks into the pocket. Garlett, yes, he gets it, 30 out. Good mark.
Well, there's the speed element you talked about,
Yep.
Pete. There's no doubt about that. The breakaway speed of Jeff Garlett then was just fantastic. That's where they'll expose if they get a chance. I think their structure's better front two, Pete, with O'Halpin. He certainly played his best game I've seen 2 weeks ago.
So in comes Jeff Garlett, 35, 40 metres out, deep in the right forward pocket. It won't be a goal. Across the face, off hands, punch through for a minus score. It's the first score. The Blues are behind. Geelong yet to score.
Who'd you tip for what it's worth, David?
I think Geelong.
Peter?
You go, so I know who to pick. I'll go Carlton.
I thought Geelong narrowly. Whiting?
The Cats easily.
Kick into Steve Johnson, who'll play out to the right back flank, and Bartell presents for him. They chip it down the line. Stokes made space, but the kick fell short, and Gibbs was able to intercept forward of halfway for the Blues. Couldn't lay it off initially. He's probably committed to the longer kick up inside the 50. He got under it a bit. It's going to land near Walker, but they all were there to cover him. Scarlett knocked it away. Down to Steve Johnson. Hand pass to Bartell. Looking to be better with the kick this time. He bounces it round the wing, but it's found his old teammate Laidler, who feeds the Blues backward through Gibbs and Thornton, and now to centre half back for Jamison.
He's that defensive 50, Jamison. He wants to transfer play. He takes a bounce. And then the kick was, well, it was okay in the end to Dygan. He wasn't expecting it. Dygan has taken the mark, kicks further down the line, and it's Simpson. Wheels onto his left side. Hand passes to Russell, deep into the forward line. Wait in the pocket, yes! Very good mark, 25 out, very deep. Plays on, goes with the check side, and has kicked a sensational goal. Jared Waite gets Carlton's first, 1-1-7. The Cats yet to score after 2.5 minutes. Jared Waite, David Parker.
Well, it was a great mark. He went back. He was in front of, and it's Milburn who's playing on him, or was at least in that contest. He's
I think Milburn's
miles shorter. And once he got athletically into position, he just went up off 2 feet, and Milburn didn't get anywhere near it. So it was an absolute clean mark. But to come off the boundary, running towards the centre circle and whack it as high and as strongly on the banana, it just cut the goal in two. It was a marvellous effort.
I think Milburn's saying to Scarlett, you better take him.
Don't blame him. And Carrazzo's playing. That's in the front half. This is an interesting one. He's
Trying
got
to
Young
stop,
Hunt. Well, he's on Young Hunt. I thought he might go to one of the runners, but he's got the kick.
Blues to the Coventry end in this opening term. They lead 7-0. Otten's won the tap. It's a hard footy to be won, though. Allard took it. He was tackled. Warnock has a go. Suffers the same fate. Ball is lost underneath. It's still bobbling. Judd threatens to bring it out. He does extricate a hand pass. Enright going the other way. Garlett now settles it, dashes through the pack, takes clean possession and puts it lace out to Waite. He's up on the wing though. He'll lay it up to the 50. Garlett kept going. He didn't hang on. He takes the crumb. He's dispossessed. He got it back. He kicks up to full forward, bouncing ball. Milburn tried to trap it, failed. Around it goes. Walker to Carrazzo to the teeth of goal. And intercepting is Joel Corey for the Cats.
What a wonderful mark. Corey was under pressure as the ball was centred into the corridor with heat coming from everywhere, and he stood his ground. Terrific mark under pressure.
Carlton already doubled the disposals of Geelong. Corey is going to go out towards the city side. Ponziadli a long way away from goal. Jamison with the spoil. The crumbs to Gibbs. Now to Layla short to O'Halpin. 60 out on the left. Spearing ball on the bounce. Betts collects. Then he's immediately tackled out near the boundary, and it dribbles over, and it's deliberate. And it's not a Geelong free kick. It's a Carlton ball, 60 metres out from goal.
Yeah, they're under pressure at the moment, Geelong. They've hardly had their hand on the football.
Allard's the man, just outside the 50. He kicks it high, wants Waite or maybe Warnock. Ottens with the spoil. He finds the boundary.
All being played in one half. The inside 50, 6-0. The Cats have had a possession 4 of halfway. At the throw-in, Ottens knocks it to the front of the pack. Kelly took the tackle, gave the footy off to Corey. Kicks outside the defensive area. Podsy Adley in foreign terrain can't handle it. It slips through his grasp and out of play. Left half forward to the Blues. 1-1-0. Warnock wins front position. He tried to hook it down to Allard. It fell to Judd instead. He got caught by Kelly in the tackle. Scotland stood against the traffic. Hand passed up in there. He got some high contact in there, Scotland, and the Blues are happy not to take the advantage. Inside the 50, Dygan's the target. And 40 out from goal with the flights. He claims the mark.
That is a beautiful kick.
I think he was actually aiming for Waite, but Dygan's come. No, it was a great kick, but Dygan's actually come back, and Waite's done well to hold off Taylor.
I gave him credit, Pete, for
no,
getting the bloke running down the corridor towards the goal, not the bloke coming out. I thought that's an incredible kick. He's incredibly brave, this boy. He's going to get killed.
Nick Dygan. He's done a lot in his 7 matches before tonight in his league career. A goal has eluded him. From 45 out, Dygan makes that mark as well. Dygan kicks the Blues second. They've jumped the Cats after 6 minutes, 2-1-0.
I've got 4 minutes, haven't I? You get 6 and 4 at 10 minutes when you've got to make your call.
Yeah, that's right. You can jump off if you like.
I'm just about ready to fall off.
Cool, there you go. Well, they just haven't got their hand on the footy yet, so we don't know what sort of form they're in because Carlton have dominated. And Waite's looking dangerous. Scarlett has now pushed Taylor onto him because he wants to take what he considers the lesser forward and the one he might be able to get off. And it's interesting that you're right with Carazzo. He's playing down forward on the Taylor Hunt, maybe to stop his run out of defence.
He's the quick runner.
It's 28 disposals to 13 Carlton's way. No possession yet to Selwood or Chapman, who currently sits on the bench. Warnock wins the tap for the Blues. Kelly gets a high tackle, so it'll be a Geelong clearance. He's told to play on, under pressure. Kelly's kicked to half forward. Laidler read it well for the Blues. He'll get there first on the third bounce. Defensive hand pass to Russell. Back to Laidler on his left foot, kicking to the wing. It's not well directed. Cats ball, although Kelly's hand pass was knocked down. Now it's a Carlton footy. Streaming forward, Walker towards Waite. Jumps early. Taylor with a spoil. Ball in dispute in the pocket. Waite first to recover. Trying to paddle it to Betts. No, he'll take it all the way. No, tackled in the goal square. It now is a Geelong ball, and it's Taylor Hunt.
It's out of bounds way back, I think, Adam.
It's out of bounds.
I think a long way back.
Good result for Carlton.
Was it ever?
They were bursting the Cats down the dock side.
What about Judd's interception? That created the opportunity, but the kick just needed, I don't know who kicked it, they just need to lower it down, and Waite would have had that.
Trying to work out what Gibbs is doing or not doing.
Left forward pocket for the Blues. At the throw-in, Vardy's in the ruck against Warnock. Warnock brought it down. Armfield, Betts has got it. Hand passed out the back, missed its target, Carazzo, who took a little while to get it and then lost it. Scarlett ran straight into the tackle of Betts, had the hand pass in a hurry. McLean going the other way, up near Walker, but it was stolen by Taylor through Milburn. Out to the defensive 50, but the Blues have got the press well set. Murphy wins it back and chips it to Judd, who had the arms chopped or taken high or took the mark. Any one of the three will do.
Yep, the pressure, right, Jared, is causing them great problems at the moment. They can't seem to extricate themselves from the defensive 50.
Chris Judd, tight angle. He'll be inside the 50 when he takes his shot, but he'll only be 3 or 4 steps in from the boundary. Judd on a deliberate passage to goal. Sets the right foot drop punt right all the way. And he misses out. 2-2 to nothing. 9 minutes played. The Blues in control.
This is where it's hardest from the kick ends. Let's see what they can do here.
Enright, just a little 30-metre pass is okay to Taylor. It's Harry Taylor as he goes down the dock side. Hawkins has to climb and he marks. One-on-one with Dygan. Had to run at it and took it comfortably. Down the line, Bartel making space. Has to wait for it as it hangs in the air, the footy. But Bartel takes the mark. Hand pass to Selwood. Gets away from Thornton comfortably. Kick inside 50. It's a crowded forward line. Off the hands of Warnock. Scotland's hand pass was errant. Taken by Varco. His hand pass under pressure to Selwood. Wants Bartel. Getting a little hand in it was McLean, but Bartel's kick inside the 50. On the bounce to Podsiadly. Good tackle, Jamison. Sliding in was Laidler. Has to be careful here, Laidler. It will be a bounce. 45 out from Geelong's goal.
Well, McLean's
poor effort, wasn't it?
Oh, McLean's come back in, and he's supposed to be an inside player. He just had to take some body with that one and didn't even touch it, hand or anything.
It's Geelong's first venture forward in 10 minutes of footy. Vardy wins the tap out. It's wide of the pack. Scotland. Hand passes across the turf was inventive stuff. Found its way to Armfield and on to Ellard, and it's wide open up ahead. Wait against Taylor. Taylor to spoil the Cats with the numbers. Enright off to Scarlett. Up to Taylor, on to Chapman. He breaks through the wing, spreads the kick out to the right. And Mackie is camped there. Backward he comes. Taylor runs it up to half forward, kicks out into the pocket. Hawkins went with the one mid because the other was being held by Laidler. And the umpire awards Tom Hawkins the free kick.
Taylor's been good early. He's getting a bit of ball from half back. Is Laidler on Hawkins? Because that height difference or size difference might trouble him if Tom keeps attacking the football the way he has early.
Yep. I think that's been the match-up from the start, Pete.
Looks more vigorous and involved, Hawkins, than in recent weeks. He's kicked 3 goals, 2 for the season. It's a tough shot. From 40 on the angle, the drop punt is right, and it's no good. The Cats with their first score. It came at the 11.5-minute marker behind the Carlton's 2-2.
That's where they
see their tactic with Yaron. They're going to stop him from playing on. Well done, Geelong.
So Yaron has to just poke it into the pocket to Gibbs.
Very quickly, they put 2 players either side of the square.
Get him whichever way he went.
Stop him going anyway.
Gibbs to the City side. Garlett was the target in the end. Off hands, it's taken by Enright. Then he lost it. High kick from Mackie, though, back inside 50. Varco in the chop. Off hands, Laidler getting the good spoiling. Finds the boundary, 40 out.
Well, they're undermanned in each of those, aren't they? Even Jamison probably gets Podsiadly okay in shape and size, but any of those other tools that go down, they've got 4 of them now, Pete.
Warnock reaches over, wins the tap, but it's taken by Stokes. He's tackled by Russell and also Yaron, and there'll be another bounce.
Slowly work their way back, Geelong. Slowly working their way back.
Lots of players around this bounce. 40 out from Geelong's goal. One down by Hawkins. Wanted Varco. Couldn't quite find him. Thornton sort of tumbles to the ground with a hand pass. Bartel may have been pushed in the back. Play on. Scotland under pressure. Hand passes to Dygan. Now to Gibbs, and the Blues will get out of trouble with a short kick from Gibbs to Russell at defensive 50.
Here go long around the City wing to a pack of players. Leaping into it was Betts to jar it free, and Ellard's on the follow-up. He tumbles out a kick up to half forward, which gains valuable territory and turns neatly out of play.
Jared, a very good little player, hasn't he? He's just a real little tradesman. I'm talking about them earlier tonight. He's a real little tradesman.
This is the game. Get it to your forward line and trap it there and see what scores come thereafter. From the throw-in, Betts lurks in the pack. So too Scarlett to nullify him. Ball spills out. McLean had it for a moment, but not for long. Milburn pulled it clear. Hand pass to Mackie. Kicked in a hurry. Didn't really favour the Cats, and Dygan runs back to mark. Kicks into the centre square for Russell. He spies full forward on the lead. Wait. And it gave Taylor no chance.
Beautiful kick.
Well,
Jared called it.
Yes.
It's get it down there, put the pressure on or hold it in. The quick kick had to come out. I don't know who marked it initially, but then Russell's the one who's laid it to the fat side for weight on the lead.
Is that Dygan going the wrong way again? He's done first quarter and he's got 4 marks going against the grain.
Jared Waite from 50 metres to take full toll for the early domination. He's right of the post. It's 2-3 to 1 behind. 14 minutes gone of the opening term.
Geelong gets on with it quickly with the quick kick in from Milburn to Chapman. Just a 20-metre pass. Chapman Eventually runs on. Wants Podsiadly out on the City wing, one-on-one. Jamison almost beats him. He did have the better in that contest. Daigan in for support. Hand passes back to Jamison. He's tackled over the boundary for a throw-in out on the City wing.
Well, it's not going to worry Jamison Podsiadly coming up that far.
14 and a half minutes gone in the opening quarter. Carlton 15, Geelong 1. Ottens palms it down defensively towards Chapman. Gee, almost got crunched there from Carazzo. Hand pass not good from Chapman. It's Simpson kicking inside 50 for the Blues. Taylor dropped the mark. They're a little shaky in defence, but they've got numbers. Milburn helped out. Got the hand pass out towards Enright. Now to Harry Taylor. Now to Taylor Hunt. Taylor Hunt fumbles, but then kicks towards Chapman on the wing. Poor kick, it's a turnover. Carlton ball to Murphy.
Murphy had options in the square or down the line. He didn't use either. Now he goes for a dicey ball out near the boundary, and it's intercepted by Mitch Duncan. Two clear options that Murphy ignored, and then he's coughed it up. Short kick defensive side of the middle for Selwood. Cats take a moment of pause. Selwood doesn't have a lot to look at. He measures off a pass into the centre for Chapman, and he'll cross the square on the run here from Enright.
Great kick. He's been good, Chapman.
Marks, turns, looks up, needs the forwards to go. Podsiadly went on the most meaningful lead. O'Halpin got back across the front, made the spoil, copped one for his trouble. The umpire saw that, and it is O'Halpin's free kick.
And this is the tactic where, Gerard, we talked about before the game. They've now got Vardy, Podsiadly and Hawkins in their front half. Two of those are inches taller, no, centimetres taller than their opponent.
Blues work it around in a bit of a semicircle. Thornton has it now in the right back pocket. Short pass to Scotland at defensive 50. Short down the line to Laidler. So patient here from Carlton.
Well, you have to be. And the kicks in the modern game, they're either going backwards to blokes in space or they're coming down the line to hit a pass.
Laidler goes down the line. Carazzo and Murphy in the pack. Murphy claimed the mark, not paid. Hand pass under pressure to Scotland. Hand pass to O'Halpin. Inboard hand pass to Waite. They've got a chance here, Carlton. Good kick from Waite, top of the square bets. Marks all alone. Goal. 3-3-21 Carlton. Geelong 1 behind. 17 minutes in the opening quarter. Has a bit of a Geelong Hawthorn feel to this.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't here for that game. I'm here for this one, so I'm keen on Carlton at the moment. It's just the way you work the ball in the modern game. Don't want to give it to the opposition. You come out of defence, you kick it down the line, and all of a sudden it can break open if you can get the run going. And that's what happened. And we saw that the long kick in by Waite, who's been very good, found Betts all on his own, running back towards goal.
The difficult kick was Laidler's, which went up and along a bit. Murphy was a very gutsy mark amongst the people in the mid-sequence there to get the thing up and away. Terrific play by Murphy.
David Parkin and Peter Swab on grandstand AFL. Carlton by 20. O'Halpin went into the middle into the ruck contest. There's a free kick out the side of all of this. It's a Carlton free kick going the way of McLean. He fired the hand pass to Murphy, kicks up to the 50. This is on too because Garlett's on the lead. He's too far out to trouble the scorers himself. And a lot of numbers are getting deep. Garlett's going to set it up to the teeth of goal. Warnock has got back. Betts flies in. No mark. Milburn off the last line. He picks it up and uses it judiciously. Out to Kelly. Outside the defensive 50 for Podsiadly.
Podsiadly at half back. Terrific kick to Johnson, who marks on the City wing. Cuts inboard, then transfers play to Mackie. Had to backpedal, but took the mark. Hand passes to Scarlett. He'll go back to Mackie. Now on the Docks wing. Mackie looks up. Forced to hand pass to Selwood. Tackle came from O'Halpin. Selwood quick enough to get the hand pass to Corey inside 50. And Ottens marks at centre half forward, 45 out.
How good's the usage? The foot usage.
Yeah, and it needs to be, doesn't it?
It has to be. I mean, that survives on the back of Blakes being able to kick it under real pressure, low and hard to right angles, straight ahead, behind them. It was just 5 or 6 magnificent uses of the ball by Geelong out of defence into the forward 50.
I was going to say, Parker, they sort of zigzagged it forward then. So Ottens from just inside the 50, pretty much straight in front, a really important kick, and he has got the goal. So the Cats 1-1-7, Carlton 3-3-21, 19 minutes gone in the opening quarter.
And Warnock, I think, in the episode wasn't anticipating that comeback. He went deep for the long kick that came in, and so they just squared it up. Adam, you're right. It was just a 45-degree kick over a short distance, standing on his own 5 or 6 metres in from the 50-metre line was Ottens, and as he does so regularly, went back and put it straight through.
He's always been a good kick, hasn't he?
Yeah, beautiful kick.
That's his first kick for the game, and he's made it count. I just said before, they're eking their way back in Geelong. They wouldn't be panicking. They're slowly starting to control a little bit of the football. They're using it better.
That was beautiful use.
About to hit time on of the opening term. Carlton by 14. Warnock cleanly wins the tap, but Selwood's onto the footy. Hand passed it straight into the face of Kelly. McLean gets a look at it for the Blues. Got it off to Simpson high inside the 50. No mark. Enright's at the crumb. He had a little fumble. Betts is onto him. Enright's lost it. In the congestion, Waite couldn't make anything of it. Taylor Hunt's buffeted off the ball. It's in the possession of Walkout where he's held it.
Bit fumbly, that Taylor Hunt at the moment. Maybe the tempo, because he hasn't been playing for a couple of weeks, has just caught him out at the moment.
23 players in that little hustle there. 23. You've got to be very good to get it and use it.
Inside 50, he's running 15-6. The umpire seemed to wear one around the head just away from that contest. Christensen got it from the stoppage, gave it to Scarlett, kicked it into the middle. Ump saw a free kick, so he might have been a little dazed and confused, but he could see Hawkins being held on to. He roosts the Cats up inside the 50. Vardy's the target. Thornton on the spoil. Who are the crummers? There's a whistle in all of that. And Russell's free kick in defence for the Blues.
And again, as is his want, he wants to get on with it quickly. Short pass to Murphy. Hand passes to Judd. The Blues have spread it well out to the city wing. Simpson's kick to Betts at half forward, who marks front left corner of the square. May have been 50 against Josh Hunt, but no free kick. Betts 60 out, pokes it towards Waite, into the pack, crashed the pack. Scarlett at the drop, got the hand pass, and again with strength of numbers the Cats work it out to Selwood. Hand pass under pressure to Harry Taylor, up towards Vardy, knocked out of the contest by Thornton, sprawled on the ground, got the hand pass defensively to Gibbs, tried to chip it out towards McLean, couldn't quite get there effectively on the bounce, and it trickles out of play.
Great courage from Ottens down there when he just backed back. He knew he was going to cop a big knee in the back.
Right half forward for the Blues. Fine into play on the throw-in. Came through Gibbs, off to Judd, now to Russell. He can open play up through centre half forward for Simpson. He'll have a good look inside the 50 and go for the vacant square. He got all of it and he carried the distance. Cade Simpson strikes. The Blues push it back out to 20. 4-3 to 1-1.
Yeah, we keep thinking of Gibbs and Judd very much in their engine room, being the ones who start it all, but there's no doubt in Carlton's mind, and for those who know this team pretty well, the bloke who just does the right thing and does kick goals when they're required is Simpson. He's the real barometer of this Carlton team.
Gibbs was good there. He's the one who released it. But what happens, David, you've got that inner circle around the stoppage, and once you win it, guys like Simpson will just belt into space, and that opened it up because he was the man in the corridor.
On speed.
6 disposals and a goal to Simpson. Back in the middle, Ottens wins the tap down to Steve Johnson. Hand pass with a little hit and hope taken by Murphy for the Blues. Hand pass to Gibbs out towards the city wing. Bartel up, good mark from behind. Jumped early and took the mark. And now gets 50.
Smart.
Encroaching on the mark. So it's 50 metres to Bartel, and he will now be in scoring range.
Oh, he'll kick it.
The 50-metre penalty against Brock McLean.
It's a tough penalty, but Brock McLean was over and going. I thought the umpire probably should have been calling play on at that stage. He'd moved with the ball laterally. The call should have been play on. Brock McLean got caught, reading the play, not waiting for the call. Jimmy
Bartel, 40 out, straight in front. He kicks it absolutely perfectly. Goal to Geelong, 2-1-13. Carlton 4-3-27. 24 minutes gone, first term.
It was a good mark. He leapt early and sort of hung in the air. I'm a bit like you, David. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because you can see a player moving, and your natural tendency is to move with him. So, yeah, look, maybe he's a bit unlucky, but Bartel's finish was, as always, very, very good.
Mark, followed by the kick. And well, the mark, he did go up.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Because he's so good over his head for a bloke who's not a tall player in the true sense.
Blues by 14. Some 3.5 minutes left in the opening 2. Nathan Vardy into the ruck against Warnock. Plenty of height involved there. Warnock won it down. Allard hand pass to McLean, who lost it, and Steve Johnson burst through, fed it to Selwood, breaking out of the middle, kicks at goal. It's no good. Hung it out to the right. Just made poor contact with that.
Sorry, Jack. You just see the guys who haven't played for a while, that the pace of the game catches them out, and McLean's a classic at the moment of someone who just can't pick up the speed of the game and makes errors.
Too much footy for the Bullants in the sense, Shelby.
Well, it's hard to step up that big level when you haven't played a lot.
And he's not a quick player, Pete, in the true sense of the word either, is he? He's not fast over the ground or quick in the hands and head.
Short kick into Scotland, now forced to kick to a contest. Warnock, good mark from behind against Vardy. Got the hand pass to Armfield, streaming past towards Waite, one-on-one with Taylor. Taylor did well. Got it to the ground, then off the ground in the end by Waite. Is that being able to find the boundary? It was inventive, to say the best, for Waite there.
You should worry about the ball, not the umpire, Waite. Gave him a terrible burst after that.
Left half forward for the Blues. Warnock wings the tap behind. McLean got pushed in the back, and he'll take the free kick. He's actually had 6 handballs already, McLean. This will be his first kick. Too far out to score. Goes towards Waite again. Taylor was waiting for it though. Got the spoil in, and it trickles out of play.
For those at home, they press very well now, Carlton. There's not a player on the wrong side of the middle centre bounce.
Beautiful tap from Warnock in the forward pocket. Allard couldn't escape the tackle of Enright though. Enright probably feeds a hand pass out. Paddled away by Carazzo to Scotland, who's been dispossessed, and the Cats win that little tussle. Varco's on the burst, shoots it out to Steve Johnson, kicks wide for Stokes, one-on-one with Yaron, took the mark, got a little push for his trouble. It's 50 away from goal and hemmed in on the boundary. So they've run forward in good numbers. The lead's provided by Steve Johnson on the second effort, and he takes it very much within range.
Yeah, nice kick.
He's got to pause and get some oxygen into the lungs, though.
I think it was that effort, wasn't it? Just the speed in which he had to lead.
He was the ball carrier around the wing to put it there in the first place. Steve Johnson with a chance to finish his own work. From 47 out, his contact is poor. It lobs out in the opposite pocket and off hands out of play. And that is the fatigue of the way the game is played at the moment.
That looked very unconventional from Steve Johnson, that kick at goal. Throw in, still a chance for the Cats. Warnock against Ottens. Ottens reached over the top. Comes towards Bartel in traffic. Hand pass it out to Christensen. Good hand pass to Johnson. Wants to get onto his right. He can. He snaps it to the goal square. Not far enough. And it's Brett Thornton taking the mark for the Blues. Short kick, not 15 to Laidler in the left back pocket. He'll go short on the stretch. The mark's taken by Allard. Now he's played on. Allard still inside defensive 50. Kicks to the middle. Milburn, yes, good mark. The mark stuck as O'Helpin came late. Milburn was the meat in the sandwich. He's got some runners out wide. It's Selwood, just forward of the wing. Kicks into the pocket. Selwood's been knocked to the ground.
Well, that's ridiculous by Walker.
It was, but he's smart, Selwood. If you watch it, he almost grabbed Walker's arm as he hit him.
Well, it didn't really matter in the sense that Duncan still took the mark. He's in the pocket, about 45 out from goal, 10 metres in from the boundary on the right side.
He's just letting him know.
Well, he kept letting him know, so about 14 times.
Similar sort of spot to where Steve Johnson missed earlier. Duncan's shot is out to the left across the face. And again, off hands through for a minor score. And that completes proceedings in the opening quarter here on a Friday night at Docklands. It's Carlton in front, 4-3-27 to Geelong 2-3-15. The goal kickers for the Blues, all singles, Simpson, Betts, Waite and Dygan, and for Geelong, Bartel and Ottens. It is the Blues by 12 points.
This is Grandstand AFL on ABC Local Radio, News Radio and Digital Radio.
774 ABC Melbourne and the Grandstand Footy Code competition. Are you ready for this week's code?
This week's code is capacity crowd.
Enter the code online. For more information and your chance to win grand final tickets, simply enter this round's code word online at abc.net.au/Melbourne/competitions. 774 and Grandstand's Footy Code competition. Grandstand AFL.
Deep into the forward line, waiting in the pocket, yes! Very good mark, 25 out, very deep, plays on, goes with the jet side, and has kicked a sensational goal.
Digans the target at 40 out from goal with the flight from 45 out. Digan makes that mark as well.
They've got a chance here, Carlton. Good kick from White, top the square bench. Marks all alone, goal. Otten's marks at centre-half forward, 45 out. Pretty much straight in front, a really important kick, and he has got the goal.
He'll have a good look inside the 50 and go for the vacant square. He got all of it, and he carried the distance.
Jimmy Bartell, 40 out, straight in front. He kicks it absolutely perfectly.
Grandstand AFL on ABC Local Radio.
It's Carlton by 12 points. David Parkin, Peter Swab. You can tweet with us during our coverage of games at Grandstand AFL and tonight at Gerard Whateley as well. Into the second term we go. The Blues by 12. Warnock leaping high to win the opening tap. Down to Murphy. Off to Scotland. High ball to half forward. Waite against the field. Enright went back, but Waite jarred it free. Knocked it to Garlett. Runs it at the goal front and boots the opener of the term. Waite was overmanned in the pack, but he did manage to knock it to the team's advantage. And you only have to give Jeff Garlett one look at a free run. 5-3 to 2-3.
Well, the centre bounce is important because Scotland ran defensive side and who was it? Young Mitch Duncan didn't know where to go, didn't go with him. So actually Scotland was the one who won the clearance. And Garlett, once he gets free, you are not going to stop him.
And I finally worked out who Gibbs is taking. It's Bartell. It's only a very good catch in the coach's box here tonight. And I finally worked it out. He's playing off wherever he goes, midfield or back, when Bartell goes forward. One's had 6, and that's Bartell. Gibbs has had 7.
So the perfect start to the second term to the Blues, restoring that 3-goal lead. Back in the middle, Warnock jumping very high again, palmed it down to Judd, immediately tackled. We'll have a secondary bounce. Big crowd here on a Friday night at Docklands, touching 50,000 perhaps. Warnock winning the tap down again. It's taken though by Duncan. It's big tackle from Scotland. And also Russell. And we'll have another bounce inside the centre square. Corey there with Judd. Murphy and Selwood, some terrific matchups in the middle. Ottens palms it down, taken though by Judd. Kicks towards half forward. Cranny contest was Carazzo. They're just inside the 50, the Blues. Josh Hunt's hand pass missed Mackie. Judd almost got it, but it did come back to Mackie. Hand pass under pressure to Corey. Now back to Mackie. Hand pass wide to Varco. Feeds a hand pass to Chapman. Run down Chapman. Got a little toe poke to it, but it's taken by the Blues. Murphy, hand passes to Laidler, and his kick is a good one, and it's found Walker on the broadcast wing.
Betts made the hard lead. Walker's going longer. O'Halpin against Scarlett. Scarlett makes the spoil. Duncan at the drop for the Cats. Ran into the tackle of Ellard. Lost the footy. Selwood off half-back. Gives it to Milburn. Kicks around the wing. Hawkins against Thornton. Well spoiled by the defender, but the Cats are coming in waves. Christensen to Varco. Back to Christensen. On to Chapman. They ran it like a relay. Out wide now to Bartell. He can take the shot. He sets it up and nails it. Precision use around the wing results in the Cats third. 3-3, trailing Carlton 5-3.
Well,
rugby, wasn't it? You know, they had the wave, as Gerard called it.
They did it down the edge of the centre square last time, the
couple
5
of forward
possessions.
passes though there.
Oh, there were a couple of forward passes, but they were good. They were running in numbers, and again, Pete, when they got it out and going forward, they ran to support the bloke with the ball. It was just terrific football, and a great finish by Bartell. Wonderful kick to record a goal. Fantastic.
Gerard described it well. It was just fascinating to watch 4 Geelong players running in tandem in a line.
Yep.
It's interesting that you get four against Zip, isn't it? You wonder whether their opponents have got to.
It's like the team's pursuit. They peeled out from the front, went to the back.
The
taking their turn.
From the restart. Favoured Warnock. Palm down towards Armfield. Also there, Allard working hard on hands and knees. Kelly, though, for the Cats. It's like a maul, and it's got to forward 50 for Carlton. But again, Geelong, more numbers at the contest. Taylor hacks out of congestion. Only as far as Laidler for the Blues. Hand pass missed Allard. Got crashed to ground. Now Geelong footy to Steve Johnson. Shrugs the tackle of Russell. Hand passed it to Selwood. Broadcast wing. Spearing ball towards Hawkins. Tried to mark on his chest. Jamison came through with the spoil. Christensen for the Cats is tackled well by Laidler. Allard's kick smothered by Kelly. Despairing hand pass towards Taylor Hunt. Missed the target though. Carlton ball. Scotland hand pass down the boundary line towards Carazzo. He can't keep it in. We'll have a throw in.
Well, Christensen got shook up back here with a tackle that drove his head into the ground, so he's just come off.
He tried hard then to hit it onto Mackey's foot to get a out of bounce on the floor. It was brilliant.
This is high quality stuff. Orton's in the ruck, but down to Judd. Hand pass wide of the pack. This is at left half forward for the Blues. Scotland sets it up for Murphy. He overkicked him, but he's not out of the play. Murphy burrowed it on. Walker from the boundary kicks to the teeth of goal. O'Helpin came over the back of Scarlett, batted it down, took it and goaled it. The Blues answer again. Push back to that 3-goal margin. 6-3 to 3-3. 5 minutes into the second term.
That just been noticed on the way. Murphy twice, once at half back or between the back end of the square and the defensive 50, and once in the forward pocket going forward. Just kept his eye, head and body in line and took what was coming and forced the ball in his direction and in an attacking way for his side. Well done, young Murphy. A very courageous, skillful act in tandem. Fantastic.
Helbin was pretty good too, wasn't he? But you're right. He set it up, Murphy. And Walker's kick was smart too. He centred it well, and Scarlett just got caught underneath the ball.
3 goals in 5 minutes to start this second term. Carlton again with a 3-goal lead from the restart. Geelong ball to James Kelly. High kick to half forward. Christensen going back with a flight against Armfield. Armfield actually did well. Knocked it down towards Laidler. He's kicked towards Carazzo in front of the interchange gates. Off hands. It's out of play.
This stage, Laidler, and he's an ex-Geelong Blokes, probably had the ball as much as anybody on the ground, I would suggest.
Very good call, David Parkin. 10 possessions. Leads all comers. Ottens gets the hand pass from the boundary, throwing to Duncan, to Corey, shovels it over his head. Selwood collects the bouncing ball, hand pass to Stokes, now to Johnson, back to Selwood. This would be a good goal from Selwood. Elected to centre, even better. He's found Chapman 15 out straight in front. The presence of mind, Peter Shaw, from Joel Selwood.
Well, I just get a bit tired of thinking up superlatives for what is an outstanding player. You're right. We all thought he might have had a shot on goal. He's got pushed and he's hammered it 35 metres straight across the goal to Chapman.
It'd have to be a good kick to clear the opponent to get to Chapman.
Well, Selwood's gone off for a break. Paul Chapman has to finish the job. And Paul Chapman does not miss from 20 out straight in front. He never misses from 20 out straight in front. Carlton 6-3-39. Geelong 4-3-27. 7 gone, second term.
Seen as we're running comparisons with other sports, he had to clear the bunker and pull it up short of the water with that kick.
I don't understand that stuff too. If you've gone to racing terms, I wouldn't understand it either, but I know what you're saying.
I do, because I can't do it.
It was superb. And I look at this will be a real test tonight. This game is being played at such an intensity, what we are 7 or 8 minutes into the second quarter. I can't believe that it could be continued to play at this speed.
Yeah, this is as good a footy as I've seen this year.
Me too.
39 plays, 27. Carlton with a 2-goal buffer, 8 minutes into the second term. Into the turf it goes. Vardy a bit haphazard, left it there for O'Helpin, who delivers the Blues inside the 50. It took a wicked bounce and got past Josh Hunt. It sat for Betts, who gave it to Gibbs. He kicks to full forward. Walker in a tussle with Scarlett. Walker jars it free. Taylor Hunt flicked it up. Kelly got caught with it. Taylor Hunt did flick it up. It's called as a throw.
Well, the umpire was in good position. I'd like to just have another look on the replay.
Well, he was straight away, Pete.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate when he paid it.
It was all too slick. Even if he did hand pass it, it was too slick.
Did Betts play on the kick?
Double hand. That's silly.
Did Betts play on and kick a goal, did he? Because he came back and said, what about the advantage rule to the umpire? The umpire laughed his head off.
Cade Simpson has the shot at goal. He is close in. The angle is minimal. Simpson drifts it right, but keeps it in the major opening. And we are going goal for goal in the second term. 7-3-45 Carlton. Geelong 4-3-27. 9 minutes gone.
Well, he had his back to us. We weren't sure, but that's a terrible error.
Yep.
I think he was under extreme duress, no doubt about it, but he could have easily got a hit on the ball.
He double-handed.
He double-handed it, yeah. Just...
And I don't want to harp on it. I'm just saying at the moment he's a little bit shaky. Maybe when the speed goes out of the game, he'll settle down.
9 minutes, second term. Carlton again out by this 3-goal lead. Geelong can't get it back to within a kick. It'll be Hawkins and O'Halpin in the run. Beautiful bounce. Hawkins palmed it down but missed his Geelong midfielders at ground level. Ricochets out to Chapman though for the Cats. Hand passes to Duncan. Now to Christensen. Not a great kick. Favours Laidler, who does take the easy mark low down on his chest. Kicks out wide towards Gibbs on the interchange gate wing. Didn't take the mark, and then Mackie just sort of, escorted over the line under no pressure. I was waiting for the whistle. It didn't come.
Yeah. I would have paid it against him.
So would I, yeah.
No attempt to keep that in.
No, none whatsoever.
Gibbs just watched Mackie do that. Throw in. O'Halpin wins the tap down to Allard. Went without the footy. Dygan in there for the Blues as well. Kelly works hard at ground level. He can't break clear and will have a bounce on the broadcast wing. 10 minutes gone in the second term. It's Carlton by 3 goals.
Chrissy Aaron has not had a disposal so far, and Matty Stokes is just working him as far away from the play as he can get. Hawkins knocked it to the side of the pack, but the Blues had numbers there. Scotland turns in a circle, gives it up to Murphy. They're forward of halfway. He's got the option over the top in Warnock. He was a bit reticent to give it to Russell. Russell works it forward now to Carazzo. Up to full forward, coming out as Walker. It's over him. Betts is on at the back. He couldn't quite gather it. He stumbles with the footy against the boundary. Mackie hand passes to the teeth of defensive goal, and Enright is there to kick them out. He delivers the Cats to half-back for Steve Johnson, who got a little lost. He rode the contact. He lost the footy. Waite stole it. He's going to hoof it back. Pulls well but ends well for the Cats as Scarlett marks.
Steve Johnson got excited because Altons had come from the bench and he knew he was all alone, but he just couldn't get it there. And in the end, the Cats have worked it out towards the city wing. Selwood dropped a mark he maybe should have taken. Christensen gets some high contact.
His own play.
Seems to be more Geelong players out there than Carlton players, but Carazzo emerges with the footy for the Blues. Hand pass to Waite. Left foot centering ball to McLean on the third bounce. Got tackled by Steve Johnson. Shuffled out towards Taylor Hunt. Hand pass didn't quite make the target. 50 out from Carlton's goal. It's a really hot footy, and we'll have a bounce. Look at the crowd. Carlton and Geelong fans applauding.
You'd have to. That. Don't tell me this game isn't tough.
Get that bit of play. About the 11-minute mark of the second quarter. Go and have a look at it. Replay it and replay it.
Who can emerge from this contest? Altons wins the tap down towards Chapman. He's immediately tackled. McLean sits on top of him. Will be another bounce.
The Blues work to keep it locked at half forward. 7-3 to 4-3. Dygan has it played it at the bottom of the pack. They all crawl in over the top, and Dygan gets the free kick. He's 60 out from goal for the Blues. Walker led out into the pocket. Dygan didn't give it. He sets it up instead to full forward. Waite brings it down. The crummer is Waite as well. He squeezes out a kick. It bounces over Scarlett. Oh, he got a lunging touch to it on the line. After it looked like it would devilishly elude him, it's a rush behind. And it takes us out of the 12-18 concertina. It's the Blues by 19.
Mackie marks the kicking in the pocket, then hammers it long towards Podsy Adley, one-on-one with Laidler. Neither could take the mark. Armfield collects. Hand pass knocked down. Goes again. Hand passes it to Jamison, who beats 2 tackles. Jamison back inside 50. Betts at the back. Oh, I thought he was going to take the mark. Couldn't do so. Comes out to Garlett though. Slips over at the critical moment. Hand pass to Gibbs. Swings a kick towards goal, but it's away to the right and it bounces through for a minor score. Carlton 7-5. Geelong 4-3.
I'm exhausted here. It's like running up the stairs before the game.
Pressure's enormous.
Isn't it?
And I think Carlton's got the better of it right at the moment.
And the speed factor that you talked about early is really hurting them. Just not able to get away out of their 50 with a run. Pulled down every time. Every time.
Josh Hunt to kick in. There's nothing open for him, so he'll kick it as far as he can around the city side of the ground. Harry Taylor leaps in front. Spoils are made. Corey knocks it on. The Cats have got the run at it again. Selwood gathers. Forward of the players, Kelly. He goes sideways instead to Corey. He gives it to Kelly. Gathers it at the 50. Delivers into the pocket. Stokes is spoiled at the last by Yarran. Ball is loose there. Kelly ran into his own man. Lost it for a moment. Then got caught over it. Russell's the tackler. He pinned the ball to Kelly. The umpire will bounce.
Good spoil by Yarran. He had the leg speed. Stokes would have beaten most other players to that.
Twice we've had 2 Geelong players collide in their effort to win the ball.
Bounce at the 50. Thornton third man up. Hammers it out. Selwood grabs it. The 3 Carlton players grab him. There's a free kick though. It's a Geelong ball. It's going to be Selwood.
Surprise, surprise.
So about 60 out, Joel Selwood. He kicks it low. Wants Bartel. Got hands to it. Crashing through Steve Johnson. And Steve Johnson kicks a goal. Wow, that was a good goal. Front and centre with aggression. Just when it looked like Bartel was going to take the mark, Steve Johnson came through and kicks the Cats 5th. 5-3-33. Carlton 7-5-47. 15 gone second term.
Oh, no, I mean, the critical ball was won by Selwood. And then once you got it in there, you got the front and square, which we don't get too often nowadays. And Johnson's been good.
Yeah, he's playing a lot more up.
Yeah, he plays up high.
We don't see him structuring goals in the way. 11 possessions. Yep. He's been very clever around the midfield, but that's his go. He can make something out of nothing, which few other players can do like that. And it was clean and clear in the finish. It was a remarkable finish to a very difficult position he found himself in.
Bounced back in the middle. 47-33. Murphy took the ball, took the contact, ridden to the ground. Umpire's going to bounce.
He has definitely got better. He's the complete player now, Murphy.
Umpire's in yellow tonight. Ottens knocks it wide, not to his own team's advantage though. Carazzo has it for the Blues, lobs it up to half forward. Betts comes tumbling out, didn't hang on to the sprawling mark. Milburn works it off the turf to Taylor Hunt, on to Corey, creative hand pass to Duncan, bangs it inside the 50 and Stokes is on the lead.
Yarran ended up on Barco, so I don't know what happened there in the swap over.
Stokes can have a shot from 50 out. He's angled out to the left. Playing a negative role tonight. He gets a little opening here. Matthew Stokes gives it all he's got and it's enough. It clears the goal line. And Geelong edge closer still. They string 2 together. 6-3-39 to Carlton 7-5-47.
Well, we talk about, the rebound 50 and how difficult it's been because of Carlton's defensive pressure down there. At quarter time, I'm not sure what it is now, but quarter time it was 14-8. And I think if we had the statistics available right now, it would be significantly in favour of Geelong, because when they do break it open, they run in numbers and carry it out of their defensive 50, and their usage is just about spot on every time, and it's created, I think most of their scoring has come from that particular play.
Well, finally Geelong gets 2 goals in a row to get the margin back to 8 points. 17 minutes gone second term. Back in the middle with Ottens in the ruck against Warnock. Taken by Judd. Quick kick. Bounced off Betts' chest again. Ottens dives in to create a contest. Spills out to Duncan for the Cats. Kick back to the middle. But Dygan taking the good mark in front of Chapman. Spreads it out to Jamison. And the Blues can reload from half back. Jamison's kick towards Waite. Good stretch. And good mark just outside the 50 at right half forward.
And great kick too, Waddy.
Waiting towards Garlett, and Garlett too much speed on the lead. He's marked it and will have a shot for goal just inside the 50, pretty much straight in front.
Well, not much you can do with that. I mean, the guy's just super quick, and if the kick's half decent, you're going to be standing the mark every day of the week.
Yeah, and it's a pity that Betts hasn't taken what he's been given. He's dropped a couple of sitters off his chest.
So Jeff Garlett coming in from just inside the 50. Good kick. Goal number 2 for Garlett. And the Blues again skip out to that 20-point advantage. Carlton 8-5-53. Geelong 6-3-39. Jared Feldman, that's in year 11. That's 14 points, isn't it?
Well, it's champagne stuff, I'd have to say. Jared mentioned before, this is the best quality football I've seen from two sides on the one night so far this year.
Well, we've got 8 goals in less than a half from Carlton, and Geelong normally keep their opponents down to about 9 or 10 for the game, so they're in a totally different game than they've ever been this year.
Inside 50s, Carlton 27 to Geelong 15. Blues by 14. Bounce goes up. Otten's won the tap, but Judd is onto the footy. Gets it onto the left boot. Up to half forward. Waite had the full steam up at it. He fumbled though. Left it there for Mackie. Hand pass found Bartell. Works it around the line. Duncan. Up to half forward. Podsiadly couldn't quite get down low enough. Rises. Dragged off it by Jamison, who dumps Podsiadly. Good strong stuff from the defender. And he just gives a little one to Christensen on the way back through.
But for the opportunities created, I mean, Eddie Betts has put a couple down, so's Waite, that are clean into their hands and out again.
50 from the Geelong goal. Warnock in front, knocked it down. Corey feeds the hand pass to Christensen, looking to open up through Varco. Back to Christensen. He'll get the kick to a 3-on-2. Ottens is the flyer for the Cats. Gibbs works the superior numbers for the Blues. Checks the pass into the back pocket for Simpson. Works it out now to Yarran, who marks and is going to have his first disposal of the night.
And it's down the line, and it's a good kick, and Murphy takes the mark. City win.
Made the most of his first disposal.
That casual 20-metre spearing ball. Murphy just chips it inboard to Gibbs as Carlton tries to just slow things down a little bit to get a bit of respite. Gibbs goes back to centre half, back to Thornton, takes his customary bounce and transfers play out to Dygan. They've worked it well here, the Blues. They've got a spare player on the wing. It's Scotland. He's taken the mark. Wheels onto his left foot. Now he's caught by Duncan, so has to kick quickly, and it's not a great kick. And Harry Taylor takes the defensive mark for the Cats. Hand passes to Milburn, to Taylor Hunt. Knocked as he kicks it up towards Podsiadly, who jumped high, but in front, Scotland makes up for that earlier error. He's taken the mark on the broadcast wing.
He's going to give plenty of ground for Jamison, who look across half back. There was nothing there, so he stays out on the wing and delivers it up to Judd. Judd into the centre square for Russell. Hand pass to Laidler. They creep up to the 50. Laidler had a short target. Carazzo, he missed him clean. He kicks instead deeper. Mackie didn't quite intercept, but he works it around with Enright. Now to Josh Hunt, who spears the pass out to Stokes. Fires the hand pass to Chapman and on to Milburn. Four of the players, Steve Johnson. They come at him. He turns a little arc. Hand passes to Chapman, who kicks it sideways to Taylor Hunt. They're forward of the middle, the Cats. Hunt flops it inside the 50. Varco had a play but couldn't hang on to the mark. And Judd is onto the loose footy. He kicks across fullback. Simpson is the outlet.
And Simpson kicks well to Carazzo in the middle. A help on that half forward. That's ignored, and it shouldn't have been because he's kicked it straight to Enright, who kicks to Scarlett. Geelong have got 3 players absolutely everywhere. Streaming through the middle is Selwood. Goes one way, then the other, then gets tackled, holding the ball. Important play. No, it's called push.
That's a poor decision. And that's costly because they were away.
They were. That's a big moment in this match. Mark it down. 22 minutes gone in the second term with Carlton leading by 14 points and the Blues were on. But it was given as a push in the back And Selwood's chipped it to Hunt. Spearing ball to Chapman, still all inside the centre square. Oh, Chapman wrong foot. Allard, 55 out, kicks to the top of the square. Bartel in front, couldn't complete the mark. Stokes crashes in. Hand passes to Podsiadly. He misses the target, so Podsiadly forced to tackle. Will now have a bounce at the top of the goal square.
Just the pressure in the modern game in the forward line is extraordinary, isn't it?
If you're slow getting in, Pete, to find time and space is almost impossible.
Otten's trying to open up a shot at goal. He knocks it down, follows up himself, and again he hand passes out to Kelly. Kick is smothered by Murphy. It reached the goal square and it's coming straight back out. Laidler to Scotland to Armfield. The Blues are full of dash and dare. He kicks into the middle. Well, Helpman worked out underneath it. Scarlett comes the other way. He works his hand pass around to Selwood and then to Josh Hunt. Kicked up near Steve Johnson. He took the tackle rather than the footy, and Simpson threatens to pry it clear. Taylor holds him up. Hand pass from Vardy in there to Chapman. Now to Milburn inside the 50. The kick is very wide. Steve Johnson against the boundary. Had a step of space. Floats it at the goal front. Gibbs flies over the top to make a spectacular spoil and concede score.
And killed his mate in the process.
Oh, yeah.
Blues by 13.
Bryce Gibbs, the spoil in the pike position.
Was it Laidler who copped it? Oh, gosh.
Short kick into Jamison, who's got some time. He goes out to the city side. Helpin would be the best option, but even better again for the Cats is Taylor. And he's taken the mark just forward of the city wing. Hand passes it to Milburn, confronted by Carazzo. Has to go the hand pass to Hunt, who spins out of trouble, Josh Hunt, and then spears a ball to the 50, and Bartel's taken the mark. Now, Jimmy Bartel could make the distance from here.
He's
from
not
just
sure.
outside the 50. But his inclination is to pass it.
Yeah, and that's the right
he
one.
hasn't made up his mind. I can do this.
Do you think he can?
Yep, I can do
I'll
it.
say he won't carry.
I reckon he can make it.
Yep.
Okay.
From what we saw last week in the indoor stadium, here he comes. From about 60, he winds up and kicks it long. It's got the carry, but it's out to the right, and only a minor score. I won't say that actually was off hands, but Geelong 6-5, Carlton 8-5 at the 25-minute mark of the second quarter.
No, to get the distance, he lost the accuracy.
Russell nudges it into the pocket on the restart for Thornton.
You know what it suggests? Your first thought, particularly when you're a champion like Bartel, is the right one.
Just couldn't find a loose man. He knew he was one step too far. Thornton works it short to Murphy. Right back pocket. Had to be precise and wasn't. He hung the kick there. It's intercepted by Selwood and he chips it to Steve Johnson directly in front.
Yeah.
When they get careful, Carlton, they are so vulnerable.
Well, it's a terrible kick, wasn't it? He wasn't really under pressure.
Well, there was not much movement, to be truthful. I was looking around to see one player only. The one he went for was the one that asked for the ball, but only half asked for it.
The kick from Mr. Inaccuracy. Steve Johnson belies that rating. Dobs it straight through. And the Cats, with Johnson second, close to a goal for the first time in so long. 7-5 to 8-5.
Well, it came on the back, first of all, of a terrible Carazzo turnover. They were going into their forward 50, and for whatever reason, Carazzo missed the target by 15 or 20 metres, which not only put them in possession, but it left them totally clear of any opponent, and they were able to bring the ball back in. Debatable free kick, pushing the back, holding the ball. We thought it was the other way. And then Johnson ends up, again, pretty straightforward opportunity to score.
So 26 and a half gone in the second quarter. What a big 3 or 4 minutes this is before half-time. Judd with the clearance. No, he got tackled. Goes again, Judd. He will get the clearance. Hand passes it to Murphy. He takes the bounce just forward to the city wing. Long kick inside 50. Weight in front. Couldn't mark. Good spoil Taylor. Crumbs there to Enright, searching for the boundary. He can't find it. It stays in with Yaron. Hand passing it to Carazzo. Deep in the pocket to the square. It hits the post. It almost went through for a goal. Adam McPhee did that one day for Essendon. Very similar sort of kick. Not really going for goal, but it almost went through.
Oh, Judd is injured. He's leaving the field on the kick in. Taylor Hunt got interfered with. The Blues just had a whiff of it. He is limping from the field, Judd.
That's not looking good.
No, that does not look good at all. Taylor Hunt Works it wide to Harry Taylor. He'll chip it out for Duncan. Gets there at full pelt to mark before it heads to the boundary. He turns backwards. Josh Hunt kicks it out to Taylor Hunt. The Cats are trying to work it through half-back. They spread out again to the city side. Milburn, precision kicking up to Stokes. Hand pass over the top to Corey. Had a breath of time and wasted it. It's intercepted by Gibbs to Murphy. Caught by Selwood. Took high contact. Selwood's free kick. Kelly Underwood.
Plenty of concerned looks on the Blues bench as Chris Judd just wanders down into the room. So he's left the arena. Couldn't put any pressure on his right leg. I'm not sure if it was a knee or an ankle. We just saw him hobbling off. It happened behind play, but I'll keep you updated.
No doubt about that free kick for Joel Selwood.
Absolutely no doubt.
35 out, no angle, poor kick. He jumped into it, dragged it across the face of goal. It's a behind the Blues by one straight kick.
That's two that he's missed tonight that were well within range. Easy, straightforward kicks.
Yep, 2 behinds for the night, 18 disposals and 4 tackles. And 74 Dream Team points, if you don't mind.
The pain on Judd's face didn't look good, did it?
Gibbs from the back pocket, wanting bets, but he was never going to win that battle against Harry Taylor, who's taken the mark 70 metres out from goal. Chips it back into the corridor to Enright. Now, there's only about 4 players behind Enright, so a crowded forward line for the Cats as a consequence. Pokes to the pocket, Steve Johnson on the stretch. Can't take the mark. Blues at ground level through Scotland. Collects. Hand passes to Carazzo. Hand passes to McLean. Caught on his left foot. Mackie should mark this in front. He does. So Geelong, another chance just before half-time perhaps. Actually goes to the bench and says, how long's left? There's still at least a minute. Mackie kicks back inside 50. Podsiadly, good mark. In front. Just outside the 50. Players calling for it inside the 50. Podsiadly didn't really know what to do. And in the end, he settles in over his kick. Hasn't had a big night, Podsiadly.
He needs to kick it now because he missed a golden opportunity to give it to him, mate.
Well, he should be fresh. This is only his second kick. Podsiadly from 55 out. It's out to the left. It's not coming back. It's in the square.
Goal.
Oh, it's a goal! It's a Geelong goal to Hawkins. That was unbelievable. It just bobbled around off hands and actually fell into the lap of Hawkins and said, oh, well, okay, I'll kick it. And it has locked up the scores at 54 apiece. And Jared, to be perfectly truthful, we've got a game on our hands.
I think Brett Radden managed to put an adjective in front of that, which couldn't quite be repeated on radio.
Yeah, didn't quite describe it either. Podsy nearly carried the distance.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And they're usually defendable. And that's the difficulty that Carlton have, that they don't have one big, strong, athletic defender that can kill that ball on the line.
Dying seconds of the half, 54 points apiece. In the middle, Kelly takes the footy. Hand pass was pretty indiscriminate. Ellard onto it. He got taken high. No free kick. Ball spills out to the wing. Ellard doubles up. Hand pass to Murphy. He's against the clock. He gets the kick away before the siren. It's gone deep. It's gone deep. It's marked on the very last line by Harry Taylor.
Like a baseball in the outfield at the warning track.
Against the padding of the fence. Harry Taylor saves the score. And it is as it was when we started. It's all tied up. 8-6-54 each after a ripper half of footy. The concern is in the Blues camp where Chris Judd has left the field with about 5 minutes remaining, limping heavily, straight to the rooms. Hasn't been seen since. Goal kickers to this point. For the Blues, 2 each to Simpson and Garlett, with singles to O'Halpin, Betts, Waite and Dygan. For the Cats, 2 for Bartell and Steve Johnson, with singles to Ottens, Hawkins, Stokes and Chapman. Actually, let me, just before you go, the NRL score tonight in progress is Canberra 16 to the Bulldogs 0. That's in the second half.
So as I said, Judd in the middle for the Blues, Carazzo also there, and Yaron. That's the starting three midfielders for Carlton. Kelly, Stokes and Selwood for the Cats. Away we go. Ottens wins the tap. Yaron sharks it, but hand pass intercepted by Selwood. Kick inside 50. Podsiadly caught out of position. Knocks Jamison away. Steve Johnson had a look at it. Chance for the Cats. Christensen across the face. Oh, it was close. Can it shave the post? It did. But it does give Geelong the lead. So a bright start to the Cats, continuing that momentum from just before the half-time break.
What they should have done before the game, we picked Carazzo to go to Selwood. I thought that was an obvious one before the game started. He now is on Selwood.
Jamison blasts it into the centre square on a long kick in. The Blues were set up for it. Walker's onto the crumb, but he ran into a dead end and he's lost it. Mackey hand passes into the congestion. Selwood feeds it out to Harry Taylor. Whacks it wide of the pack. Duncan took the tackle. Not sure that was the right option. He's lost it. Harry Taylor can't get it back. Duncan goes off the ground. Kicks it up to Christensen. Gives it to Varco, who gets a free shot at goal. And the Cats' pressure wins out. They lead now by 7. 9-7 to 8-6.
Well, that's a clear impression of what we sort of felt, that when it comes to the clinch work, they're just stronger bodies, more mature, and get a better result most times. I reckon the contested possession has certainly been in favour of Carlton. I think at half-time, it was 73-66. But the end result of clearances from tight situations has been far better in terms of Geelong's output.
And Christensen's done some good work.
Yeah, 9 possessions. Varco only had 6 in the first half, so a quiet start this week like he did last week, but he was one of the catalysts for the Cats last week. Back in the middle with Ottens and Warnock. Warnock wins the tap. Sharked though by Duncan for the Cats. Nice little kick over the top to the wing. Varco marks, plays on, kicks deep to the pocket. Vardy there, Thornton with the spoil. Oh, free kick Geelong. It's going to Vardy. Chopping of the arms, maybe some holding. Thornton's not sure. I know he's disappointed, but it is a push out, hands in the back, so a free kick to Vardy.
Well, he looked as though he just spoiled, so it'll be very, very interesting to see why he's made that call.
Terrible free.
Oh, no, I tell you what he's paid it for.
In the back.
He saw the hand on his back.
Yeah. But it's not. The bloke still came back.
No.
And that's
completely incidental. That's actually not the one they're trying to pull out.
No, it's a bad rule anyway, full stop.
Nathan Vardy in the pocket. It's hitting the post. So 2 posters already for the Cats in this term. Vardy hitting the right or near goal post, crashed into it about 3/4 of the way up.
And that at least lets us know that footy gods are here tonight.
Karma, you think.
Geelong by 8. Russell's kick almost intercepted by Vardy, who then lays a good tackle to jar the footy free. Murphy, they're under siege in the back pocket. Gibbs and Russell, they play for the boundary and get it over. This is suffocation stuff.
Yes. Momentum has suddenly gone.
He's a big man, Vardy, so he's hard to get over.
They can't get it at all, Carlton, a bit like Geelong in the first 15 minutes.
Right forward pocket for the Cats, knocked down to the front. Kelly took the tackles, released the footy. Stokes trying to burrow through, gives it to Vardy, now to Steve Johnson. Had a fumble, so he couldn't take the shot at goal. He lofts it up to Varco. He takes a contested grab 30 metres out.
Well, should have been really contested. Neither of the Carlton players made body contact, and he went straight between them. Very poor effort. I'm trying to work out who those 2 were. One was 14, which was McLean. Did not. The other was Murphy. Not good.
Travis Varco's already kicked the opener of the half from 40 metres out. He steers through his second. Geelong have kicked 6 of the past 7 goals in the match. And the lead has grown to an alarming 14 points. 10-8 to 8-6, 4 goal.
Yeah, too easy, wasn't it? It came from a stoppage, and look, well done by Johnson, because he's always looking to set someone up. And Varco's been very, very lively, and is that Army? Who's got him? Armfield's got the job. I'd go right over and stand shoulder to shoulder with him.
Don't let him go.
Because he's done you for 2 goals in less than, 3 or 4 minutes. So you better start playing tight, son, or you might be having to be moved off him.
Which means his mates are telling him, go with him. He's saying, no, I'm going to sit off here. Well, now his 2 teammates are telling him.
Well, he got the mark out there on the wing by himself before as well, Varco. From the middle, Warnock wins the tap. He looked for Judd, couldn't quite get there. Quick kick out of the congestion by Kelly. Varco a chance here again. Got hands to it, couldn't mark going back with the flight. Murphy for the Blues, hand passes to McLean. Shovels a hand pass towards Armfield. Out wide with a short pass to Carazzo. Carazzo's kick down the line is a good one, and at half forward the mark's taken by Waite. Too far out to score at left half forward. Looks up. O'Helpin leads to the pocket. That's ignored. Judd there. Garlett also. He goes to Garlett, who marks at the 50 on a lead in front of Taylor Hunt. He doesn't fancy his chances here, Garlett. He thinks it's too far out, so he goes backwards to a short option. And that's Laidler who's marked.
And Yaron, I'm
He's
right.
forward.
I think he's playing forward. Pete, you picked that just before half time.
It's a win for Geelong.
Laidler kicks it to the hot spot, wants Waite, he's in the pack, got hands to it, couldn't mark. Front and centre Kelly, shovels a hand pass to Bartel. Corey there also, and Duncan, all hand passes. Now Taylor Hunt, this is the crucial one. Spiralling kick towards the middle. Thornton reads it well, got a bad bounce, but got time to get back. He feigns the first hand pass, then short passes it to Dygan, who marks it right half back.
Dygan needs a target down the line. He goes for McLean. He flirts with the boundary. McLean marks it just in the field of play. Releases the hand pass to Scotland. Kicks up to half order. Helpin knocked it down, but not to advantage. Taken by Duncan. Worked it round with Taylor Hunt and Scarlett. Kicks into the middle for Vardy. Hand passes to Stokes. Sets the ball up to half forward. Selwood with the flight, wedges it again for Varco. Gibbs is the coverage, the third man across. He makes the spoil out of play.
Has Carazzo got the job on Selwood?
Yes, he's supposed to be on Selwood.
Okay.
And Judd is struggling to get over the ground.
Warnock almost throws it to the front of the pack towards Armfield. Carazzo also there, gets the hand pass to Warnock. Thornton, Carazzo again, all hand passes. Judd, now Laidler to centre half back. Kick over the top of about 3 plays and falls in the hands of Garlett. Hand pass to O'Helpin, out in front of Walker. 40 out, he collects. He's going to run into an open goal, Walker. He's got the answer for the Blues. Yes. Carlton 9-6-60, Geelong 10-8-68, 7 gone third term.
He didn't mean to kick it to the bloke, he did he?
He didn't. No. I love the press. I hope the press stays in footy.
You like the fast breaks?
Oh, I love the fast breaks.
When you were a coach, you hated the press, David. Let's be clear about that.
I did. And I invented the 5th quarter. Don't worry about that. Oh, just terrific stuff. It's exciting though, isn't it? Is it?
Breaks,
Is it? It's over the top? Yeah. Is he going to be quick enough? Yeah.
Tell you what, Vardy's ears must have been burning at half time. Everyone thought he was going to be the sub.
Vardy and Varco, the two. We mentioned them. Well done to him though. He's responded well.
Yes.
The Blues needed that one just to steady up.
Did they ever, Jared?
It's Geelong by 8 points. Hawkins taking his turn in the ruck. He knew nothing about it. Warnock knocked it out, but straight to Duncan for the Cats. Bartel's kick is smothered by Simpson, and it's still to be won. Scotland hand passes to Simpson. Took the contact, got caught. Might be penalised. No, the ball spilt from his grasp. The umpire in the bounce.
It's hard umpiring this game, seriously. I reckon the whistle went to his mouth 3 times then, in less than a second.
I would have penalised him.
Yeah,
he had a chance to dispose of that ball.
Chris Donlan umpiring with Vozzo and Armstrong tonight. Garlett trying to feed the ball forward of the pack. He has. He's after it. He paddles it. They come from the side. It spills to Walker. Hand pass to Betts. Snaps a goal. It's online. It's touched and pushed through by Scarlett.
Glad he saw Betts, because I certainly
I didn't see it.
I thought he was just handling terribly.
Oh, gee.
Cats by 7.
We're all enjoying a night at the footy. Mackie kicks to himself, out towards Bartel on Milburn. Milburn first forced to spoil in the end. At ground level, Murphy and also Garlett fight for the ball. There's a free kick, high contact, Carlton free kick. It's going to Murphy.
I thought it was Gartlett that tackled him.
Murphy short to Allard, front right corner of the square.
It's good to give your own bloke a whack round the ear so he gets a free kick.
9 minutes gone, third term. The Cats by 7 points. Allard back to the middle, and it's Bryce Gibbs. No player behind him. So he has to be precise. He is short to Armfield, still inside the centre square. On his left foot, pokes it out to Simpson, who marks just forward of the City wing. Inboard kick to Gibbs, who plays on. Now you go inside the 50 and he finds Ellard.
How can that happen?
Great ball movement.
It was good ball movement, and when you've got a zone defence that's running around looking after areas, if you can kick it as accurately as that and as quickly as that, you can catch them out.
So Allard will have to kick it from around about 49 metres.
Maximum distance. Maximum distance for Allard.
He started like a shot out of a gun, but just with the 9 disposals so far this evening. David Allard to get the Blues very, very close. The contact is okay, but it's out to the right and through for a minus score. So Geelong 10-8-68, Carlton 9-8-62, 10 minutes gone, third term.
Kick-in's a quick one for the Cats, marked by Harry Taylor. Hand pass to Mackie, delivers out to Selwood, just back into the action. He's paid the mark and he's looking to go. Now confronted and has to give a bit of ground. He's gone sideways, he's done it okay. And Enright marks. They'll switch play from left to right. Long loping kick out to Scarlett. Wedges it up to Mackie. Fires the hand pass back to Selwood, to Scarlett, and off to Josh Hart. Long inside the 50, gave Hawkins a play at it, couldn't make anything of it, it's on at the back. Armfield gets there first, Andy slips the tackle. Hand pass to Thornton, they did that well. Thornton's kick was okay. It reached Dygan just before Barco did. They're on the break, off to Murphy, through half back, kick to Walker. Strong mark on the wing. Walker rises, has the option wide and uses Scotland. Right half forward, Judd is making some space and he'll mark to re-enter the play in this half.
He's limping badly, though.
Yep.
Really limping badly. This is brave or stupid.
60 from goal, the short pass, and Yaron is coming out. He marks it, but probably... I don't know. It might give him a hope from 54.
Oh, it'll be a big effort because he's...
He did a Dennis Lee run up for this, I think.
He's squeezed. He's got to bring it back right, left to right.
He's thinking goal. Yaron, he hugs the boundary and he sets it up 10 metres out. They leap in, O'Halpin and Ottens. No mark. Betts lurking. Walker got it. Squeezes it out with a hand pass. Couldn't make anything of that. Scarlett is happy to see it through for a behind. Back inside a kick though, it's the Cats by 5.
Josh Hunt to kick it back in.
Just Carlton have, just steadied and probably nose in front in general play in the last 5 minutes.
2-on-1 here, Cats with the numbers. Milburn and Enright against Laidler. Off hands it comes to Enright eventually, who hand passed it to Milburn, to Selwood. Tackle comes from Yaron. Ball spills out of play for a throw-in. The Cats really coming out strongly to start this third term, but Carlton with the last goal. Geelong by 5 points. Halpin just takes it out of the ruck. He didn't have an opponent. Hand pass to Laidler, to Carazzo. His hand pass knocked down. Now ball is in dispute. Carazzo dives on the footy, shovels it out towards Laidler, who got a little kick to it, but it's taken by Milburn. Hand passes to Chapman. They're in the middle, the Cats. Wide kick from Chapman towards Podsy Adley, who's taken the mark going back with the flight on the city wing. Looks up. Kicks inside 50. Hawkins 1-on-1. Free kick. It's going to Thornton. Thornton to take the free kick at left half back to the Blues, and he'll go back to fullback where Brock McLean marks.
McLean looks out to the defensive 50. Scotland's his man. The kick's going to come up short. Taylor Hunt should have taken the intercepting mark. Instead, they're on at ground level. Scotland's the tackler. Hand pass from Hunt, though. Found Bartell. Selwood delivers out into the pocket. Steve Johnson dropped the pud. And it's over the boundary.
He almost tried to pull that down, didn't he? He should have. I just thought he just needed to go clunk at his hands. He
had it at his mercy. Wasn't able to pull it in, Steve Johnson. Instead, it's a boundary throw in. Ottens knocked it down to the front. McLean got caught as he went to kick it. The ball spills free. Steve Johnson gets another look. More difficult. Left foot snaps a miss. Near side. He's kicked 2-1. It's the Cats by 6.
You're right about adjustment. McLean's just not with the...
No, the speed of the game scored him.
Definitely
needs another few games to pick it up.
Russell's short kick into Thornton. Another short pass to Simpson as they go the city side with the kick. As the Blues can just methodically work it up towards the wing where Halpin has taken the mark. Oh, dangerous kick, scrubbing ball, turned over. Enright collects. Hand passes it out to Selwood, now into the middle to Kelly. He'll kick inside 50, not a well-directed kick. The Blues will get out of trouble here. Jamison will mark it centre half back. He'll go back towards the wing. This time broadcast side. Garlett marks. Hand pass over the top. Just getting a fingernail to it was Enright. Still okay for the Blues. Scotland collects. Hand passes to Gibbs. Down the line towards Murphy. Crashing spoil from Scarlett. Finds the boundary. We'll have a throw in.
We've got to tell O'Helpin to go on his left. He's very good on his left. It wasn't a very good cut on his right.
He's got to know his limitations, doesn't he, really?
Heavens alive.
Geelong by goal. Middle stages of the third term. Comes down to the front of the contest. Chapman took the standing tackle, dragged the ground.
I like his endeavour and his enthusiasm.
He's got better, Pete. He's 2 weeks ago.
He's back in the ruck now, so he's going to find that hard against Ottens.
Right half forward for the Blues. It favours O'Helpin. Coming the other way was Corey to jar it free to Kelly's advantage. Hand pass to Varco from centre half back. He has the bounce. Waits in pursuit. Varco a second bounce. Cleared the middle. Delivers for Steve Johnson. Up he went without the footy though. Russell mops up for the Blues. They all come at him. He spins through the tackles. But his kick is intended for McLean. Knocked down by Taylor Hunt. But Ellard runs in assistance for the Blues. Hand pass to Gibbs. Kick round the wing. Milburn made the spoil. Chapman does the bustling work. Christensen took the footy and worked the hand pass to Milburn. Sets it up for Vardy coming out at centre half forward. Took it on the bounce. Hand pass to Stokes. Looks out into the pocket. Podsiadly's on the hard lead. He marks, turns, plays on. Varco again. Too high for him. Spills to the back. The crummer is Ottens. Hand pass to Varco. He'll kick his third of the quarter. And celebrates it with some panache. It's the Cats by 2 goals, 11-9 to 9-9, 16 and a half gone of the third.
Well, the kick intended for him missed him by quite a metre over his head. But God, Ottens is a super player because he took it like a little boat. He controlled the ball on the first bounce and got it back to Varco, and Varco under a bit of pressure on his left foot. Probably the most difficult of the 3 goals he kicked, he put away. So they just seem to have the control and the composure, I think, at the critical times, and they looked a bit out of their depth in the back half there, Carlton.
Well, they got some nice contributions from guys who hadn't given them any in the first half. I mean, Varco and Vardy's done a few things, even Podsiadly.
Back in the middle, Ottens winning the tap. Thought Selwood was going to break clear again. He goes for it again. Has support from Kelly, who just hacks it out towards the city wing. Simpson first there for the Blues. Hand passes to Scotland, who had to be good, and he was. As he hand passed back to Simpson. 2 bounces. City wing. Spearing ball not taken by Murphy. He's got some time to collect, then falls over. On hands and knees, hand pass out towards Judd. Duncan got there first, although Carazzo slapped it to Judd. Hand pass to Armfield, too hot. Simpson another effort, did well. Hand pass to Judd, standing start from the 50. It's into the pocket, off hands, out of play. Very deep in the Carlton forward.
It's a fine line. If Simpson had seen Garlett was on, that was the option, but he didn't.
Throw in. Ottens will get there first. At the front, wins the tap. Going through Enright, couldn't collect. Scarlett can. Hand pass out of congestion was good to Stokes. Goes one way, then the other. Precise footy. Nice short pass. Finds Steve Johnson, defensive 50.
Johnson has to take a moment for an option to present. He kicks around the city wing. He's challenging Podsiadly, who takes a good grab against Jamieson, who wore him close. Pods gets it onto the left boot. Hawkins gets into the play at right half forward. Steaming forward is Steve Johnson. Hawkins kicks it into the man on the mark. It ricochets to Bartel. Hand pass to Podsiadly from a standing start. He swung it at goal, but Waite gets back and takes it at the top of the square.
And I'm screaming.
What about me?
That was a poor option. Kick up the middle from Waite to McLean. Hand passes to Yaron running round the back. Delivers it out to Dygan. Hand pass back to Scotland, confronted by Selwood, knocked over. He got his hand pass though to Carazzo. Trying to duck through the traffic. He's kicked a little dicily out to the wing. Jamieson against Podsiadly. Jamieson got it on the bounce. Podsiadly slips over. So the fullback delivers to half forward. Garlett's in front. Knocked away by Scarlett. Josh Hunt, loose hand pass against the boundary. Garlett pinched it. Kicks for Walker. No! Milburn was the saving spoil from the side. Just as Walker reached the apex of his jump.
Unrealistic attempt.
Bit of a Warwick Capper effort from Walker. Throwing again really deep in the forward pocket for the Blues. Otten's in front, wins the tap to Scarlett. He's dispossessed, ball in dispute. Kelly goes in, Carlton free kick. Murphy's been pushed in the back.
I think Otten's just fell on him, did he?
He did.
I think he had the good grace to yell, "Timber!"
Mark Murphy, left forward pocket. He'll be 20 metres out, if that.
I love Scarlett because he's always sort of querying what happened. Why was that a free?
So Geelong have looked really dangerous but haven't been able to put the Blues away. This is a must for Mark Murphy. In he comes, stabs at it, but kicks the goal. So the Blues, 10-9-69, Geelong 11-9-75. 20 minutes gone, third term, Kelly Underwood.
Chris Judd came off at the 20-minute mark for the first time in that third quarter. He's played the first 20 minutes, came off, was off for about 30 seconds. No doctors, no medical staff, didn't speak to anyone. Quick drink, quick breather, and he's straight back out into the middle.
2 goals is the greatest margin, isn't it? 2 goals. No, from Geelong's point of view.
Yeah, 14 points.
14 points has been the biggest margin.
Carlton got out to about 4 goals.
4 goals.
They're just hanging in, aren't they, Carlton?
Yeah.
And it's important in the context of the game because if you can get to three-quarter time almost square,
Well, they come off the
I
bye.
think you
so
feel
this,
I think you feel confident enough you're in the game.
That's true. Well, there's question marks about the bye. There's been not as much success after the bye as there has been.
Geelong by a goal. Kelly takes first possession in the middle, but Ellard wore him close. Got the footy loose. Scotland to Ellard to Judd. Chapman has him. Ball returns to dispute. No, it doesn't. There's a whistle.
Umpire, it was the first decision of the throw, I think, which took a long while for
It was the end zone umpire paid it, I think.
Yeah, the very first one that we thought was a free kick to Carlton, and now 5 minutes later.
That's why you get confusion because the end zone umpire paid it.
So there's an awful lot of confusion. Scotland's free kick in the centre of the ground.
The Carlton people said completely justified. I had no idea what it was for.
Scotland's going to have to hoof this inside the 50. The marking targets. Waite! Oh, spectacular! Jared Waite was superb with his timing. He marked it. It's a free kick to somebody else. It's a free kick to Walker and a 50-metre penalty for the lip that Matthew Scarlett offered. So Andrew Walker kicks his second and it's tied up again. 75 apiece, 22 into the third term.
Well, a lot of guys, as we keep saying, a lot of players who didn't do much.
Yeah.
In the clip cheering that Mitch Robinson's on. A lot of players who haven't done much in the first half have been influential in this quarter, and Walker's one of them.
Kelly Underwood, we have got a substitution.
We have. The Blues have decided to pull the trigger first. So Brock McLean has the red vest on. He has been subbed out of the game. And you could hear from the cheers Mitch Robinson to start in the middle. Interestingly enough, I've been watching him the last few quarters. He's had the iPod in for much of this game.
Sure he hasn't been listening to us,
Yeah, I was going to say we should have given him a cheerio.
Back in the middle with Warnock winning the tap down, but Duncan for the Cats will get the clearance. Long kick inside, 50. Doigan dropped the mark. He should have taken it. He didn't. Now there's a real race on for the footy at ground level. 30 out from Geelong's goal in the corridor. Will have a bounce.
He did have a Doigan moment.
Yeah, I know. I had a Doigan moment as well.
Well, I think he half took it, didn't he? He was a bit stiff. I reckon he clunked it. The replay shows that he took it fairly clean.
Bounce of the footy, 35 out from Geelong's goal. Ottens gets a good look at it, palmed it down, but Robinson grabbed it. Hand pass to Gibbs, quick kick, not really clearing the congestion. Hand pass out by Dygan was good this time towards Simpson, but he couldn't get a handle on it, and it's out of play. Kelly Underwood.
The Cats are copying the Blues. Vardy is off. He's got the red substitute vest off, which means David Wojcinski is on the field.
So it's parry and thrust on the substitutions as well as the game. The ball is out of play at right half forward for the Cats.
And I think Carlton are taking the risk to put Yaron back again. I think it's the same matchup, Pete, that it was earlier in the game.
Oh, he's got Christensen.
Oh,
Has he got Stokes? Yeah.
Christensen,
Warnock down to Ellard, off to Scotland, who gave some ground and coughed it up, although Duncan didn't complete the interception. He dropped the mark. Corey trying to get through. Ball knocked from his grasp. Robinson's into it quickly. Hand pass to Gibbs. Got caught by Corey. Ball spills clear. 50 away from the Geelong goal. Scotland to Judd. To Betts. To Dygan. To Simpson. He's got to get through. Hand passes to Scotland. They soaked up all the pressure, the Blues. The kick was to Murphy. Hand passes to Robinson. Poor inside the 50, and there it breaks down. It's spilt by the Cats at Enright. He works it back to Bartell. Now to Chapman, who'll kick it into the middle for Christensen. Hand passes to Bartell on the surge. Run down by Garlett. All the Blues have got a sniff of this right now.
They've got numbers everywhere here, Garlett. Garlett kicks towards Russell. It was a high kick. He had to stand under it, and he did. He took the mark. Hand pass to Murphy. Now to Walker. 50 out. Andrew Walker. It's close. It crashes into the post. He didn't hit it overly well. It was a big outswinger crashing into the goalpost, but it does give Carlton the lead. 11-10-76 to Geelong, 11-9-75, 25 gone, third term.
Kick in marked by Enright. Clears the defensive area. Needs Harry Taylor. Front on contact from Waite. No free kick. Podsiadly run over the boundary by Jamison.
Bit unlucky there, Harry Taylor. Robinson before, I love his enthusiasm, but he's got to lift his vision. You know, he has players on, he just can't see them.
What a morale-boosting moment that would have been if that had resulted in a goal. Thrown in, Warnock knocks it down to Wojcinski though of the Cats. Ball held to him by Russell.
So a bounce between wing and half forward, right for Carlton. Warnock wins the tap towards Robinson, couldn't get a handle on it. The pressure came, and now the cavalry comes. We'll have another bounce.
He's energy plus, isn't he, Robinson? But not much glue on his hands.
Hawkins wins the tap through congestion. Chapman, good work there by Chapman. Inside 50, Otten's caught out of position, forced to spoil. Chance for Stokes. Terrific tackle there from Yarran. Saved the goal. The ball's locked up at the feet of Stokes. Will have a bounce. But Yarran clearly saving a goal there with that tackle.
Great pace, isn't he? I mean, that's a good decision by the umpire too. Stokes had no chance. He was in the act of kicking. So I don't know any other decision than one he gave.
25 out from Geelong's goal. Ottens grabs it out of the ruck, crashing through Robinson. Lots of players around the contest. The umpire will come in and call for another bounce.
The Carlton people
there's a free kick for Language against the Blues. 15 out directly in front. I think it's Dygan who's been pinged for it. And in such a tightly contested game, which the Blues have wrestled back to lead, this is both a travesty and just absolutely reckless. Matthew Stokes with the resulting shot at goal. He's 20 out, no angle, he delivers the goods. Geelong in front by 5 points in the shadows of three-quarter time.
He's meant to be a psychological man, isn't
Jerry,
he?
do you think that was the only reason it was paid?
I reckon the umpire, to my eye, raised his hand straight at Dygan.
Because he was upset that he didn't penalise
Stokes
for the tackle.
Yeah. He got the right.
You know what? If that's the case, I just can't get that with players. I mean, in a close, hard-fought game where goals are hard to get, you're going to give one away because you're a little bit upset. It's just wrong.
You don't often see the actual free kick paid for the Language. It's more of 50, isn't it?
Yep.
Absolutely. Very strange. And Dygan wasn't even really in that contest either when he was spraying the umpire. Back in the middle, Warnock winning the tap cleverly to Murphy. So a Carlton clearance towards the 50. Judd claimed he was held. Play on. Mackie with the crumbs for the Cats. Left foot kick back towards the interchange gate wing. Off hands, it's a Carlton footy again. Murphy hand pass to Scotland under pressure. Into the middle, Robinson almost accidentally grabbed that one. Immediately tackled. Warnock tackled as well. Wojcinski with the ball for the Cats. His hand pass knocked down. Came to Hawkins. Hand passes to Vargo on the bounce. Tries to break a tackle and does so. Hand passes to Selwood. 50 out Joel Selwood. Kicks towards goal. Oh, it's close. It's just missed to the right. Third behind to Joel Selwood. 12-10-82 Geelong. 11-10-76 Carlton. 29 gone third term.
Oh, this is absorbing stuff. Kick into the back pocket, marked by Laidler. He's going long outside the defensive area for the Blues. He needs O'Halpin or Warnock. They at least bring it down and give Carazzo a look. He's tackled by Bartel. Carazzo feeds out a hand pass. He was looking for the boundary, but it didn't get there. Hawkins to Chapman, back inside the 50. Steve Johnson wrestling with Laidler, who held his ground well and made the spoil to get it out of balance.
I reckon they would have spent hours at Geelong playing on each other. Laidler, an up-and-coming player, playing against the best half-forward in the business.
Right forward pocket for the Cats on the throw-in. Hawkins against Warnock. Warnock knocked it down. Christensen bursting through the pack. His hand pass didn't go very far. Dygan cut it off. Oh, he's coughed it up. Straight to Kelly. Bends it near side for a behind. He was close in. He kicked the check side. He should have done better. It's the Cats by 7.
Should have done better. He should have run straight at it. He had plenty of space in front of him just to run at the goal. Would have been a spectacular finish, but didn't get the result.
That's enough for Chris Scott. He goes down to the boundary from the box. Yaron kicks to himself. He's going the City side. Warnock in front, stretches up, can't quite complete the mark. Carazzo with the crumbs, hand passes to Warnock. Now to O'Halpin, kicking towards the City wing. One-on-one was Enright and Judd, and it's Enright that just spikes it away from Judd's grasp and over for a boundary throw.
He's just playing half forward,
Yes.
Judd, isn't he? Which doesn't really suit him.
No, and he's been there, Pete, since he came back on the last time.
Hawkins and Warnock in the ruck this time from the throw-in. Warnock won it down, taken by Kelly. Tackle, though, comes from Murphy and also Robinson.
Kelly for the fend
Yep,
off.
fend off, so a free kick to go to Carlton, defensive side of the City wing.
50, come on, don't.
He didn't know who to give it to.
So Scotland with the free kick uses it as a hand pass to Murphy, and he kicks it backward to Laidler across the face of the defensive goal for Thornton. Looks out the broadcast side. They've set this up well. Walker will be able to mark against Mackie. They're against the clock, though. It's got 10 seconds on it, and the ball is on the broadcast wing. And I don't think it will advance too much further. Sideways kick to Murphy. And that'll see us out to three-quarter time. From level at the half, Geelong will turn 7-point leaders. 12 goals, 11-83 to Carlton, 11-10-76. Goal kickers for the Cats. 3 for Varco, all in that term. Steve Johnson, Bartel and Stokes to each, with singles to Ottens, Hawkins and Chapman. For Carlton, pairs for Walker, Simpson and Garlett, with singles to Murphy, O'Halpin, Betts, Waite and Dygan. Geelong by 7 points at
27, Murphy 26, Gibbs 19, Judd 18, and for Geelong at Selwood 26 and Kelly 21.
So the Blues are leading the inside 50s, the contested possessions, the clearances and the tackles as we go into this last quarter, but Geelong leads by 7 points. Warnock wins the opening tap for the Blues. Robinson's hand pass was a bit errant. He dives back in on top of it and he gets caught with it. He's able to release it. It's a skirmish on the ground. Corey spins out, feeds the hand pass wide of the play. Wojcinski knocks it on to Chapman. Stood in the two-man tackle. Got hit hard from behind. Held up. A bounce.
They're both energy players, aren't they? Both Wojcinski and Robinson, but they're not very good finishers, either of them.
Robinson's abandoned his natural hair colour. It's decidedly unnerving to see him as a brunette. 60 out from the Geelong goal. Otten's down to Corey, dragged off it. Kelly fashions out a kick into the pocket. Varco in front, no mark. It's to be won at ground level. Gibbs does just that. Hand pass to Laidler, who got a little bit lost. He had no one to kick to, but at least he did kick it because he was going to get caught in the square. It bumbles its way out to Duncan of the Cats. Hand pass to Chapman, got caught by Scotland, holding the... It's either out of bounds or holding the ball. Yeah. I reckon Chapman conceded to the tackle. He should be penalised.
Oh, he should be too. The umpire,
he mightn't have been in play though.
So throw it instead.
55 out from Geelong's goal. Otten's down to Kelly. Stood up in the tackle. Hand pass to Chapman. Wants to take Simpson on and does. Toe pokes at inside 50. Bartel did well. Hand pass to Wojcinski. Varco could have 4 here, but he misses to the left. The left foot snap from 25 out, just missed.
Bread and butter.
I'd like to know who's on him.
Bread and butter. No one's putting their hand up, Pete.
No.
I think it's Yellow, is it? No.
If it's Laidler, No, Yaron's still got Stokes, I think.
Jamison long with the kick in. Carazzo against Selwood. Carazzo came away with it. Selwood the lunging tackle at least. Jarred the footy a little shorter than it was intended. Milburn against Judd. Milburn gives it to Enright. Hand pass to Kelly. The Cats the defensive side of the middle. Josh Hunt has it. Puts it right down the throat of Chapman. He'll turn it right half forward. Podsy Adley's on the lead. He went with the 1 mitt. Couldn't hang on. Jamison ran into a stern tackle. Ball comes free. Stokes swoops. Snaps. It's to the square. They set themselves. Yaron. Oh, clever tap back into play by Varco, who gets it back from Bartell. And he flopped it to the defensive goal square where Gibbs stood and rather unusually marked.
Did, and kicked short to Murphy in the back pocket. And Murphy to Judd at defensive 50s. The Blues try and just gather their breath. Judd, even grimacing when he kicked that footy, finds Scotland at left half-back. Scotland looks up. He's going down the line. He wants Walker. Hunt there with the spoil to the front. Kelly has to beat 2. He can't do that. Garlick for the Blues on the wing, broadcast side. High kick, mistimed it. Enright should mark and does.
Good mark. Courage.
I said he should mark because he's so good. It was not an easy mark to complete.
Nope.
His kick is terrible though, straight to Simpson for the Blues. So another chance for Carlton. They've got numbers at half forward. Walker's one of those. Betts out wide. Simpson doesn't like either of those options. So instead he's going to kick to a contest. He wants O'Halpin or Waite. Waite crashes in. Can't complete the mark. Ball jars free. Mackie first there for the Cats. He kicks it straight to Dygan and another chance now for Carlton.
Dygan's going to go with a penetrating kick and get Waite to leap into the pack. Ottens comes back. No mark, so it's all on the crumb. Ellard is trying to pull it clear. Ottens is holding it up with Warnock sitting on top of him.
They're not going in with much precision.
No,
Carlton.
I think it's you get tired, don't you?
They do, and there's not the options that are coming up at them for those short ones that did so well early. There's no doubt that the intensity's gone out of the game a bit.
Cats by 8. Warnock gets an unimpeded run at it, knocks it down to Ellard. They all swarm at him. The ball came loose. Walker to Waite to Russell, snapped around the corner. O'Halpin on the behind line. No, that ball touched everything but no boots on its way through the goals. Did O'Halpin manage to knock that back into the field of play?
I actually thought it hit his foot.
I thought it did as well.
Completely by accident.
Yeah.
It's a behind.
Hunt low down. Christensen on the half volley, but then gets a high tackle. The Cats are again under pressure. They had him cold.
Yeah, had him cold. Carazzo or Walker or both of them just jumped on him stupid.
Christensen short. Corey, who kicks into the middle to Chapman, just defensive side of the middle, kicks quickly. Stokes one-on-one with Laidler. Stokes edges as Laidler under the footy. Stokes collects, shapes the hand pass, instead decided to kick and run down. Well done, Jeremy Laidler. Free kick to the Blues. Last line of defence. Another goal-saving tackle by the Blues, and Laidler short to Thornton across the goal face.
He's exhausted too.
Yeah, they're fighting for all they're worth, the Blues. Cross to Thornton, out to Scotland, up to Simpson. This is to reach the wing. He's hemmed in on the left boot. He curls it neatly to half forward. You like no help, and he went with a one hand. Judd comes through, gets it to his broken foot, and kicks the goal.
Oh, well done, son. Well
Inspirational from the skipper, Chris Judd. And the Blues trail by only a point. 12-12 to 12-11, and at the other end of the ground, they've all gone to Jeremy Laidler. It's a 2-goal swing.
Yeah, it is. Laidler did a great effort because he's actually got the job on Stokes. You were right, David. Yaron's gone to Varco. He was done cold, and Stokes just shimmied the handball and bought him the time to tackle him. But you can talk about Judd because that was unbelievable.
He struggled to get there. You can see he can't even get the acceleration, which he's so good at. But he found a bit of space, got through, and under duress from his right shoulder, just faded a bit, put on his left, clean cut, straight through. Beautiful play.
Gee, that was something very special. Back in the middle, Hawkins winning the tap for Geelong. Selwood couldn't go with the footy. Christensen dives on the ball. He's in trouble here, Christensen. He's gone. Carlton free kick in the middle.
What are the free kicks? They're getting a bit excited. The 17-12 to Carlton. What the Carlton supporters are getting excited about.
Carazzo to take the free kick. He goes long inside 50. Geelong strength of numbers. Enright, though, couldn't complete the mark. Now it's 30 out from the Blues goal, and there's going to be a bounce.
Well,
just a little bit of a swing to Carlton.
just a little bit. Gets it in, raising my eyebrows. Yeah.
I tell you, who's been outstanding early for Geelong was Chapman.
Hasn't he?
7 gone, final term. Geelong by a point. Hawkins wins the tap. Clearance to Geelong. Corey kicks it out towards the city wing. 1-on-1 Varco and Yaron wins easily. And Yaron kicks towards Russell between wing and half forward. He takes the mark, but he slows things down. Has a look. He wants to be patient. He wants this kick to find a Carlton player. Well, he's going to go high instead. Walker has a run! Oh, but he dropped the mark. He propelled himself into the air but couldn't complete the mark and will now have a bounce in the pocket.
Oh, he got a clean look at it, didn't he, in the finish?
That was a great move. He nearly had it too, didn't he?
Yes.
It's Geelong by a point, 8 minutes into the final term, and it is in keeping with the rest of the night of the highest quality. Murphy got it from the stoppage, but his kick didn't go far. Milburn lost possession against Walker. It's out of bounds on the full. Who against? Against Carlton.
The central umpire reminded the boundary umpire that if it's above the knee, it's not a kick.
Oh, okay. Right. So it is going to be thrown in after a moment of confusion between the umps. 50 out from the Blues goal. O'Halpin down to Judd. Judd kicks to Simpson and he hangs on at the 50. Duncan crunched into Simpson.
And they wanted 50 on the 50.
They gave the step over wrestling hole there, didn't he?
This has been
Judd,
super.
great play again by Judd.
Can we have a replay afterwards?
He's grimacing with every step he takes, Chris Judd, on a foot that you imagine will keep him out at some point. Cade Simpson directly in front, but every bit of 50 on last quarter legs. His worst result should be to tie it up. He might propel them to the lead. He's propelled them to the lead. It's a mighty kick from Simpson. He has 3, and it's the Blues 13-11 leading Geelong 12-12. 9 gone at the final term.
Well, Halpin was good in the ruck then because he actually won the tap down to Judd.
And pushed it through, didn't he? Yeah.
But Judd just had enough on it, and Simpson stood his ground pretty strongly. And we know he can thump it, and he's certainly done that.
I'm just trying to watch the setup here now. Carlton have just been
Bartell's been pushed forward.
Duncan
Chapman's gone forward.
Just quickly, Kelly on the bench.
Jeremy Laidler very sore. He's been on and off quite a bit in this last quarter, getting treatment on his back.
Ottens wins the tap for the Cats and then goes again. Hand pass straight up in the air. Wojcinski paddles it out towards the wing. Corey collects. Hand pass though intercepted by Allard. Hand passes to Robinson. Now to Scotland. Scotland's kick to Carazzo. Gee, it was a lovely kick from Scotland. Measured it beautifully. Carazzo marks. Plays on. Confronted by Taylor Hunt. So on his left foot. Kicking towards half forward. Walker blocked for a run. As a result, it's Josh Hunt for the Cats. Hand passes to Mackie. Now to Kelly. Kelly still inside defensive 50. Kick across plays okay. And the mark's taken by Varco. So Varco out on the City side. Short kick to Enright who marks. Dead set centre wing City side. On his left. Spearing ball to half forward. On the second bounce towards Podsy Adley. Went at it with one hand. Murphy just cruised through for the Blues. And his kick finds Russell.
Gartlett, he's missed him.
Kelly's trying to get back onto Garlett, who's now too far away from Russell. He has to settle himself for a short kick instead to Waits.
That's the problem as the game goes along. They're not going to cover that sort of distance.
Gives some ground weight with the kick to Thornton. He thought about coming across to Scotland, but Duncan lurks.
There's a worry, Thornton, because his kicks sit up all the time. They get cut off by everybody.
He's kicked this one for Russell, and Scarlett has infringed in his endeavours to spoil. Russell's free kick on the City wing. 11 gone at the fourth term. Blues giving themselves a bit of a breather with the lead and with possession. Russell is now committed to kick it down the line. He goes off 2 steps. Warnock into the pack. Ottens came with him to effect a spoil. Enright to Milburn on the boundary. Has to kick and hope. Underneath it is Waits. He takes the mark. They're creeping up the Blues. Backward to Laidler. He's on the logo. Nothing obvious to go to other than Russell. Rushes out to the boundary 15 metres away.
Now, is this by necessity or by choice, Pete?
Oh, I think they're forced at the moment because Geelong have just pushed everyone back.
Russell wedges it over the top to Thornton. He's still short of right half forward. Thornton keeps this reasonably low out into the pocket. They all fly in. There's not going to be a mark there. Milburn trying to break through. Josh Hunt lost possession. Harry Taylor's dragged down with it. Strong tackling to trap it in there by the Blues. The ball spills from everyone's grasp and out of bounds.
They don't care if they run the clock down, David, but I just don't think anyone's... In the end, they kick long and they get a throw in and something could happen.
Let's have a look at the throw in. Ottens wins the tap down, taken by Betts. Hand passed out wide. Murphy, left foot centering ball to centre half forward. Will it sit for Scotland? It will. Hand passes defensively to Dygan. Now 60 out. Spearing ball to the 50. Off hands. Armfield, the unlikely goal kicker. It's close. It's very close. It's hit the post. It's hit the post. Armfield from 45. It's an even goal the difference. The Blues in front, 13 gone, final turn.
It just opened up for him, didn't he? Thought the pressure was coming, and each of the base bent off and ran away, and they left him open.
Josh Hart long on the kick in. Podsiadly and Laidler. Laidler's playing the game of his career. He makes the spoil, and it's out of bounds.
He's sending a statement to
Geelong,
he is,
isn't he? But he's basically a backman. He couldn't get into their back half. It was just impossible.
Half forward for the Blues. Ottens took it out of the ruck, but he pushed Warnock in his endeavours to do so. Carlton free kick. Just about to reach the halfway mark of this final two. Blues by a goal. Warnock sets them up to full forward. Walker and Wait from behind. Couldn't hang on. Milburn at the drop, coughed it up. Robinson from the boundary. Kicked it out across the face of goal. And it will spill to the opposite side to be thrown in.
You think that's a defensive kick? I mean, he's kicked it long and hard into the pocket. Do you think you want to score? You bring it back in front? Do you think that's a deliberately...
I'm never guessing with Robinson.
Well, that's true.
Ottens wins the tap down. Through traffic, Christensen. Hand passes to Varco. Short pass to Stokes. Sweeping hand pass to Wajinski. Can't quite get a handle on it. Then he did. Hand pass to Hawkins wasn't a good one. Lets Laidler in. He collects. Then he's tackled by Hawkins. Will have a bounce.
Well,
Geelong looked out there, Parko.
Well, too bad, yeah.
Pace.
Wajinski and Hawkins both fumbled balls that they needed to take right at that point.
Just forward of the wing for the Cats.
They were through and gone at him, I think.
Yep. Broadcast wing. Warnock in ruck against Hawkins. Hawkins gets high contact. Advantage paid to Christensen. Everyone stop. Christensen inside 50. Podsiadly, no. Jamison with the spoil. Front and centre Chapman. This is Chapman's stage. The big stage. And Chapman delivers and locks the scores up again.
He's been great, Pete. You mentioned that before. His acceleration for a bloke of that size, powerfully built, but his acceleration, he just got away, I think, with Scotland, wasn't it? Scotland went to go with him and he just ran backwards and sideways and Scotland couldn't get a hand on him. He got himself space and there's only Chapman can do with his right foot, just whacked it back through. Terrific goal.
It's been good this quarter.
Scores a level. 15 gone of the final term.
He's been pretty good, Chappie, for 3 quarters, really, Paul.
Yeah, he's just a little bit quiet in the third quarter. His first half was good.
Right.
He's had 21 and kicked 2 goals. Hawkins against Warnock in the ruck. It's out towards Hawkins on the bounce. He knocked it down to Judd, though. Corey trying to bring the skipper down. Judd had an eternity to get rid of it. Hawkins hand pass to Taylor Hunt. The Cats come forward. Johnson stretching, trying to mark. Had to settle for the bouncing ball. Gibbs harasses him out of it. And the same measure for Stokes. They all pile in. The ball to be bounced on the broadcast wing.
You're still doing the same. Laidler was the spare man back and Hunt for them at the bounce, but they seem to pick up immediately the ball comes into play.
Into the turf it goes. Third man up was O'Halpin. He knocked it defensive side. Gibbs got knocked high by Christensen. And Bryce Gibbs with the free kick at half-back for the Blues. They look into the middle of the ground. It's got to be perfect, and it is. Scotland marks. Got hit hard by Kelly. No 50. Just instantaneous contact on the mark. They've still got runners breaking forward. Scotland's going to try to take Kelly on, and he gets through. He unloads to full forward. Waite stands in the pack. Milburn the spoil. Garlett overran the footy. Taylor Hunt got caught with it. Trying to pull it clear as Scarlett. Walker out of the pack. Snaps. No. Misses across the face. It's enough to return the Blues to the lead.
Sorry, Drew.
Getting excited there, David.
Paco was right. You said no.
Sorry, Drew. That's disgraceful. I'll put a cork in it.
The Blues by a point. Mackie kicks to himself, then long towards Hawkins, but he was never in the contest. And O'Halpin's taken the mark for Carlton. Front left corner of the square. Simpson waving for it at the top of the 50. O'Halpin, I'm not sure whether he thinks he can go for goal here. He wants to take Hawkins on the mark. He does so. Then on his left foot, kicks it high into the pocket. Spoil comes from Enright. Armfield there for the Blues. Crashing in Taylor Hunt. Also Selwood. He hand passed it to Mackie. 4 or 5 hand passes out of defence from the Cats. Wojcinski hand passes to Christensen. Has to draw a player and go back towards Wojcinski. Cut off by Dygan. Carazzo hand pass to Robinson. Robinson to Armfield left half forward. 2 kicks out from goal. Murphy wanted it short. That was ignored. Christensen just didn't have options further forward. So Armfield now for the Blues inside 50. Waite caught out of position. Offhands, no mark taken. Geelong at ground level. Enright hand passes to Hunt right near the goal line. In fact, over. It's a rush behind the Blues by 2 points. 18 gone, final turn.
Christensen just had to that time play it down wide. He tried to make something out of nothing. It cost them dearly.
Kick into Chapman, spreads it wide to Bartell. They'll reach the wing on the kick to Corey. The Cats are building promisingly. They've got runners heading forward. Stokes marks turn. Steve Johnson is the man. It hangs in the air. Johnson! Splendid mark. You would have thought in the build-up he was going to take that uncontested. By the time it arrived, so too had Bryce Gibbs.
Well, they had the legs then. 4 or 5 Geelong players, including Johnson, had to make ground to create space and movement, and they did, and no Carlton player could find the yards to go with it.
Steve Johnson looking for his third. From 30 out, he guides it home, and the Cats return to the lead. Geelong 14-12, 96. Carlton 13-14, 92.
Terrific, and it was a good mark. I think it was Russell going back, was it? He did everything possible, tried to get up and without free kicking him. And
once they opened them up on the far side, you could see that the Carlton guys were just caught. They were caught one player out. They had to keep going to the player and leaving someone behind them. And in the end, Johnson was the one who got on the end of it.
Yeah, it wasn't a matter of run, it was a matter of numbers, really, Pete, wasn't it?
Just that extra player they had.
Yep. Wow, what a finish.
It's a testing now. 19-minute mark, and
at least it's 6 on 6 in each forward line, David.
Cats by 4 points. From the centre bounce, Ottens wins the tap. Duncan charged off the centre square, collects the footy, but he's tackled by Allard. And we'll have another bounce.
Good effort by O'Halpin then to get up and centre bounce against Otten and put it back exactly where it was required.
O'Halpin and Ottens again. Ground level Chapman, good tackle Simpson. Hand pass to Taylor Hunt, free kick coming back to Chapman. Good call, Shovey.
Yeah, he hurt himself too.
Yeah, he's in the middle. He's too tough not to take his kick though. In fact, it's a hand pass to Mackie. Hammers it inside 50. Johnson up. Podsiadly fourth in line. James Podsiadly. The attention was on Johnson as he tried for the hanger, but he just misread his leap, and Podsiadly did not.
Well, that's one thing he can do is can clunk it. Remember last week his kicking for goal was not good. It's about the first time I think he's marked it inside 50 tonight.
A great pack mark, really. You're right, Johnson. We're all looking for Johnson to hang a bit longer, but he hung and dropped, which left access to the ball to Podsiadly.
James Podsiadly kicked a really important goal last week. This from 45. It hangs out to the left. It comes back. It's a goal. It's a goal. Geelong by 10 points. 15-12, 102. Carlton 13-14, 92. Podsiadly's first goal of the night, and what a crucial one.
Yeah. He did it last week. He can catch them, and he hasn't done it inside 50, but he's done that really well. And 10 points is a pretty significant margin at this stage in the quarter, and the momentum again has shifted back to Geelong.
5.5 minutes to play in a quite brilliant encounter. Geelong with a 10-point lead, and Carlton have to muster about their 4th effort to drag themselves back into it. Warnock against Ottens in the middle. The bounce was outside the circles. It's allowed to stand. Ottens down to Chapman. He bowls over Simpson, and Ellard got some of the ricochet. He's in a little bit of a bad way. Ball paddles out to half forward for the Blues. Simpson works out some sort of kick. It bounces to Betts. He gives it to Judd. He kicks to full forward. O'Halpin can't hang on. Pressure from Mackie. Jars the ball free. Andy gathers. He's kicked for Taylor Hunt or Chapman. Betts was the sandwich, the meat in the sandwich there. Chapman works out the hand pass. Taylor Hunt is down in the skirmish. Christensen is bowled over out of play. There are casualties all over the field in keeping with the way the game has been played.
It's carnage at half forward for the Blues. The boundary umpire can't throw it in until the players are taken away from the area.
And all those trainers.
That's right.
Medical staff out.
Warnock tapped down to the front. Corey grabs it for the Cats. Immediately tackled. Spills out towards Selwood. Hand pass in close quarters to Kelly. Hand pass to Enright. Enright's kick towards the wing. Steve Johnson stretched. Couldn't mark, but first there at ground level. Look away hand pass to Selwood. Tries the underground hand pass to Christensen. It was successful. Inside 50. Stokes a chance. No chance. Daigan with the defensive mark for the Blues.
Terrific stuff from Daigan. Stokes tried to play him the body. Strength from the older man. He used it short to Carazzo. The Blues are trapped in the defensive 50 with no obvious way out. He has to kick long. He needs Thornton, who arrives in the nick of time. Hand pass to Robinson. Kick up beyond halfway. Betts against Mackie. Betts is going to let it bounce. Mackie needs support. Betts off the ground. Waits behind the defence. He's got it. He goes. It's still there for the Blues. Down by just 4 points at the 24-minute mark of the final 2.
Well, it was Thornton actually who snuck on the interchange that actually provided the kicking option for them. Got it to Robinson, just thumped it in long, and when you got a one-on-one down there as they had, Betts just got a little bit of a lucky fall of the footy, socket off the ground, and Waits had the pace because Harry Taylor was his opponent, who actually left Waite to come out to try and get the footy, and we've got game on again with only 4 points in it.
Who's going to win?
You wouldn't want to know right now.
Let it
This
be.
has been such a great night of footy.
It has. Back in the middle with Warnock winning it down to Murphy, who gets a high tackle from Kelly. So a free kick to the Blues. Hand pass to Walker coming past to Scotland. Scotland inside 50. Waits a real chance. He's got it on the chest. Terrific kick from Heath Scotland. Possession 33. That was his best.
One of the great draws of all time, Mr. Webb.
Now Jared Waite will have to kick it from just outside the 50 at right half forward. He looks at it. He kicks towards the target. Oh, right to the line. Milburn's got a hand on it. Waite thought he kicked it. The Blues supporters behind the goal thought he kicked it. It was only a rush behind. 3 points the lead to the Cats at the 25-minute mark.
Kick into Stokes, stabs into the pocket for Enright. He takes the mark before Armfield can affect the spoil.
Great mark under pressure. Isn't he good overhead, Enright, for his
Yeah,
size?
it's a terrific play.
He's going to kick it down the line to a contest though. Podsy Adley has to go. Jamison right with him. Ball falls to the bottom of that pack. Jamison tackled, tied up. They all go down on top of him, including Corey. Podsy Adley. He's going to throw it up with the fight going on. Scotland gets an unimpeded run at the knock. Put it forward. Judd couldn't quite grab it. Milburn the other way, but his kick's going to be intercepted on the wing, and Daigan means to go. He's got support. Hand pass to Carazzo, back to Daigan, not entirely tidy. Hand pass to Russell, out now to Murphy. He turns on the right boot, waits his target at half forward, and he hangs on. Too far out to score. He's been called to play on. He'll dab it to the 50. Walker.
Good kick. That's the smartest thing I've ever seen Waite do on the footy field. That was unbelievably clever and quick.
Andrew Walker kicked the match winner against St Kilda at about the same time a couple of weeks back. He's a little further out, but it will look familiar. Right of centre, 50 from goal. Andrew Walker gives it the lot. It's across the face. Warnock got there, paid a free kick, high contact.
He was, and he might stay down so someone who's a better kick can take it.
Umpires patting his shoulder to signal Warnock's free kick. That ball landed about 14 metres from goal.
Well, the height and the finish, Warnock and O'Halpin at least going down there has added one more dimension, I think, in their structure.
He certainly got hooked by Enright.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
Robbie Warnock, he's 15 out on a slight angle.
Could be a hero.
This could be a lot of things. The Blues are down by 3 points. Robbie Warnock misses.
Right. You mozzed that.
That was always on. He dabbed that left. They're down by 2. There's still time enough.
And Enright kicks quickly and not effectively at all. The mark has been taken by Heath Scotland just outside the 50. Another chance for the Blues. He loads up. It's a high kick. One for the high flies. Who can get a run at it? It's a Geelong mark. What a terrific mark to Matthew Scarlett. Who else?
Fantastic.
Gee, that was a good mark in the defensive goal square, hugging the ball to his chest. No Carlton player could get an unimpeded run. He goes out wide. It's to a contest. Off hands. Duncan tackled off his kit. Kelly got the hand pass out. Just hammered forward for the Cats. 1-on-1. Podsiadly and Jamison bouncing footy. Podsiadly grabs it. Tries to fashion out a hand pass to Bartel. Couldn't quite do so. It's at the 50. Players diving on the football. We're going to have a bounce. Yes. A bounce of the footy. It is the Cats by 2 points. 28.5 gone in the final term.
Blues would have to do a lot right from the stoppage. They have to get it, whisk it and go. 2 points in it. 50 from Geelong's goal. Ottens wins the tap. Carazzo tries at ground level. Robinson worked out a kick. Cleared halfway. Scarlett takes the mark. The sure hands of Matthew Scarlett for the second time in the final minutes. He dabs it off to Enright, and the Cats are safe. Geelong remains undefeated in 2011. It's a victory that would please the recently departed. But the Blues have shown they're made of stern stuff. They'll leave believing they'll see Geelong in September. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played. At home or far away. Our banners fly high, from dawn to dark. Down at Cardinia Park. Geelong 15-12, 102. Outlast Carlton 14-16, 100. It was the Blues by 12 points at quarter time. Scores were level at the half. Geelong by 7 at the final change and 2 at the close. 48,429 in to see it. The high watermark so far this season. Geelong by 2 points. Goal kickers for the Cats, 3 to Barco and to Steve Johnson. 2 for Bartel, Stokes and Chapman, with singles to Ottens, Hawkins and Podsiadly. For the Blues, 3 for Simpson, 2 for Walker, Waite and Garland. Singles to Murphy, Judd, O'Halpin, Betts and Dygan. And with a minute on the clock, Robbie Warnock had the chance from close range.
And he's struggling out there, Gerard. All his teammates are going to him. He's in a bit of a mess, I think. with disappointment, and rightfully so. Judd went over and spent some time with him then, I hope reassuring him that it wasn't a great kick in the finish, was it? You called it, Jared, you must have known. But look, the maturity, I think, of Geelong in a sense, and it happened throughout the game when there are tight situations, better decisions, stronger bodies, made best use of the circumstances. Look, I think what was it, 30 scoring shots to 27. So Carlton certainly created the opportunities to win this one. It was without doubt. I'm trying to think back to the last we saw a grand final that was drawn at the end of last year, but the quality of football in this close game certainly rose to greater heights than that one, in my opinion. This is one of the better games of football. As I say, it was a great contest at the finish, but the better games of football in terms of the quality. And the one outstanding thing, and I bet it's the same this week, Geelong had 174 handballs to Carlton's 133. What they are is the best handballing team in the competition. I probably said they do it more than anybody else. They get more practice at it. You say you can keep them under pressure and get it back, but the way they're able to release the ball almost without taking it under control in the hand, it's passing across the palm of the hand and it's on hit deliberately to somebody else in a better position, and it's hit clean all the time. I admire that enormously. I really do think they overhandle it and they give people a chance when the defensive pressure comes off. They set up and create and get their players free with more time and space to do something when the kick has to be finally given. They ought to be very pleased. 2 in a row, 2 from difficult situations Geelong in 2 weeks. But Carlton will walk away with a feel inside. I think Jared did that as the siren ran. But they have a feel inside now that they certainly can match it with the best in the competition. They've had a pretty good record against Geelong of late. And I think with a little more maturity and a couple back when Cruiser gets back into this side and gives them that mobility which they probably lack around the ground, I think in a rematch with all Blake standing up in both sides, we will be going in droves to see it because it will deliver again a classical Australian football contest. It was just brilliant stuff.
Cats by 2 over the Blues. Let's head into the rooms with Kelly Underwood.
And it was their acting captain, Joel Selwood, who led them in. And just like last Friday night, Jared, they're not getting carried away. There's no over-celebrating down here. They're just taking their time, picking up a drink, gradually linking arms, getting ready to sing this song. 2 in 7 days, close ones. Nathan Vardy in the middle. Even the coach, Chris Scott, just ultra cool down here. I caught him singing the words to the song, so he does know the words, but players just breaking away now. They're going to go into their warm down, and I'll get back to you.
Geelong 15-12, 102 over Carlton 14-16, 100.
All right, Jared, I'm going to say it. To be perfectly truthful, that was fair dinkum, unbelievable.
It was a great night of footy, Peter Swan.
You should know the words to the song. How many times have they sung it this year? They're just a good side. Look, it could have gone either way in the finish. Full credit to Carlton. I again thought at half-time Geelong might just go away with it, but they hung in tough, and Judd was probably not ineffective in the second half, but certainly restricted in what he could do, and I thought that hurt them. Scotland stood up. Murphy stood up. Gibbs is an interesting game. I thought he played most of it on Johnson, so you'd have to query whether he cut...
Yeah. How much did he play on Bartel? Because Bartel had only 17 disposals.
More on Bartel.
I think in the end he sort of went to Johnson when Johnson started to win a fair bit of the footy. Look, it's a good step forward for Carlton in a lot of ways. I mean, where's their glaring problem against Geelong? You couldn't really find it tonight. You'd have to say that they come away thinking, well, if Geelong's one of the benchmarks, we're not too far away. Collingwood probably showed them up more, but that was early in the year. The Cats have just got a lot of good footballers, and when the when it's tough and tight, you get players like Scarlett who just stood up at the finish, and Chapman in the last quarter.
Let's head back into the rooms with Kel.
And one of the youngsters, Alan Christensen. Alan, just a couple of big games in the space of 7 days for you. What is it about this Cat side? You're almost the last gasp heroes. You beat the Saints by 1 point in round 1. You beat the Pies by 3 points, and now the Blues by 2. They're certainly heartstoppers.
Yeah, obviously we probably don't want it to be like that, but just shows the boys' tenacity and grit to fight it out, and we're happy with the win, but we got a lot to work on, so we'll go back and play Gold Coast next week, and we'll just work on what we can improve on.
Already thinking about next week. You're keen. Talk me through that last moment when Robbie Warnock was lining up for goal. Where were you? Were you near him? Were you on the bench? And what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was on the bench right behind him, and I don't know, got a bit nervous there, but when he sprayed it to the left, it was a bit of a shank, but those things happen. We're lucky to get away with it.
And what's it like to play in front of these massive crowds? Are you just forging your way in your career? Early days, played at the MCG in front of 85,000 last Friday night, a big victory, and then again 50-odd thousand here tonight. What's it like to be part of a win in this all-conquering Geelong side?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I guess all the experience in front of big crowds is going to hold me in good stead for longer in my career. And yeah, so I don't know, we'll just keep playing and keep going along as I am, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, you've got the headphones on, so David Parkin and Peter Schwab are upstairs, and I'm sure they've got a couple of questions for you.
Sorry, Alan, Peter Schwab, well done on your game tonight. I thought a bit of a breakthrough game for you.
Yeah, it was good to get out of that green jacket, play a full game, but yeah, really loved it, and the boys make it easier than it is, so yeah, I'm loving it.
And what's most of your role, to come on sort of a high half forward wing, or?
Yeah, I don't know, I've got various roles, and I'll go into the midfield, play wing, high half forward as you said, but that's the beauty of our team, that anyone can play anywhere, so yeah.
So you must start to feel now that, gee, I can play at this level.
Yeah, there's still a bit to go, I think, but with each game you just keep improving and keep learning, and the other boys will make it so much easier for me, and they teach me a lot.
Yep.
We thought it was one of the most pressured games we've seen, and you're waiting for the sort of intensity to drop. Did you sense, like we did, that at no stage did the pressure valve come off?
No, Scotty made sure that we knew that before the game. They're one of the best tackling sides in the comp.
Yep.
So we knew the pressure was going to be there, and we tried to match it with them, and they probably beat us on the night, but we just keep fighting it out, and we got the bickies.
From where you were, Scarlett's 2 marks at the finish were just absolute classics, weren't they?
Oh, geez, a lifesaver. Wish it was down there forever, but that's not going to be. And we got a lot of young boys coming through in key posts, so we'll keep learning as young people, and we'll just watch people like him, because he's been one of the all-time greats.
And the young blokes that are with you now, there's young Duncan, there's one coming through. Menzel you didn't have tonight, but there are 3 or 4 of you now that are getting consistent games, and that's good for the future. Yeah,
it's really good, and even on the sidelines, boys like Josh Cowan and Tom Gillies have been emergencies probably all year. They're going to keep pushing up through the VFL, and we're really lucky to have that.
Got the family history with the club, Alan, with Marty and Damien along the way. Have you been a Cats fan all your life?
Actually, I didn't really like Geelong growing up. I was an Essendon fan because Dad was, but yeah, I knew that was always there, and I was really happy to come to Geelong when they picked me.
So do you sort of feel like it means a lot to the family to have the next generation still in the hoops?
Yeah, a lot. It really does, and you can see the pride they have when I get to pull on the blue and white hoops.
And the meaning of this Indigenous round to so many players who you've shared the game with tonight, it seems to resonate quite deeply.
Yeah, it's a really important occasion on an Indigenous person's calendar, and we're really lucky to showcase what Aboriginal people can do, and we represent the communities and all the people out there battling, but we're really happy to showcase what we can do.
Good on you, Alan. Well done tonight, and good luck with what's to come.
All right, thank you, guys.
Alan Christensen in game number 6 tonight. The Cats winning by 2 points over the Blues.
And Alan Schwabby could have easily played in the Oz kick at half-time, and no one would have realised that he was actually playing in the main game.
He's about 8. As he said, it was nice for him to get the sub thing off, because I think you got to move that around a bit. Otherwise, you'll end up back in the VFL. And I was just pleased because I thought tonight, and I've known him from the under-18 times, I just thought he just looked at home tonight, and he should take a lot of confidence out of that game.
18 disposals, 8 contested possessions.
Yeah, and he set up a couple of goals, I think, and he's quite composed under pressure for his age.
I think we should take calls tonight.
Oh, we haven't done that for a while, have we?
No, we've sort of held off that on Friday nights, but there was just a heap in this. It was a joyful occasion. 1300 222 774. 1300 222 774 to speak to Parko and Schwabby.
Well,
can I just say one? You're going to say one thing?
I was going to say one thing. You say your one thing, I'll say my one.
I'm just going to say with statistics, the only one that matters is whether you're in front at the end of the day, okay? Because Carlton had more disposals, had more marks, had more contested possessions, had more tackles, had more centre clearances, had more inside 50s.
More scoring shots.
And more scoring shots. So they would have said to themselves, we've done a lot right. We just can't get in front when the bell went.
It also says something, Pete, about maybe the inability of Carlton's front half tonight versus what is, we all think is the best back line in the business.
Yep.
And that was where the maturity and the good decision making was made, not only to stop them and put pressure on them in terms of scoring, but to set up on the way back. And that's where the game was won and lost.
Well, bid farewell to our news radio audience. This Friday night, Geelong over Carlton by 2 points. On we go. They're getting closer, Carlton. That's what I'm getting from the from Twitter, where you can send your thoughts to @Gerard Waitley. Carlton getting closer.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, because even a year ago, that would have been a 3 or 4 goal loss to this team.
I want to ask you about that, Parko, because when Varco went crazy there in the third quarter and Geelong's lead got out to 14 points, is it fair to say that a Carlton of last year, particularly 2 years ago, may have just folded at that point and let Geelong just go on with it? But Carlton actually showed a bit of ticker to stay in it. Is that fair?
I think you're absolutely right, and that's the point. I just started to write the reasons why Geelong were going to win. Was when I started to write that. I made the mark down here, and I said, a little bit more mature over more, and that sort of thing I started to say. So I'd actually given up on the Carlton that I knew.
They dug in.
And they really did dig in, and they were pretty tired. And there's some young players. When you talk about, the best again for Geelong were the Kelly, Johnson, Milburn, Selwood, Chapman, Mackie, Enright. Those players, they roll off the tongue, and they've been best almost every week. But some of the better players, later has come from Geelong. Dygan, who's come as mature age. They've got some players who've snuck in a bit, and they've certainly got some that have got better. No doubt they've got better. They've got more mature bodies. They're making far less errors when the time. They did make some shockers tonight. So they'll be. I don't know how much they're going to talk about it publicly, but they'd be silly to walk away tonight and just say, get really disappointed about a loss that could have been a win, and it could have been. What they know now, they've cemented their own self-belief as individual players and as a collective unit that they can match it with anybody in this competition. And whether they can win consistently against the best is another thing, but they're going to get in there and worry the hell out of some clubs who are hoping that Carlton hadn't advanced to the point they have.
And this is all built on the gains of the matches that they pulled out against Adelaide and Sydney and St Kilda, and this was completely in keeping with that. Now, I believe big time in this Carlton lineup. That didn't surprise me at all that they were able to remount that effort. And the upside with them is this is round 9, and they're going to be better at this by the first week of September, because they're new to this. They're new to the press. They're 9 games into their apprenticeship with it. And they've got the steel, they've got the courage, they've got the character, and they've got the tactics.
And they've got the depth. There's a lot more around. There's more out of the Carlton side at the moment who would come in and be in their best 22 than are out of the Geelong side at the moment would come in and be their best 22.
They're a premiership contender for me, Carlton. I think they will peg the gap back between Collingwood. There was enough in that Collingwood game where they went with Collingwood for 3 quarters and got blown out in 15 minutes, and there was plenty in tonight.
And the Blues have played a lot of contenders already too.
As long as they don't, it's like any team who's up and about. As long as you don't get injuries to key players, you always put that proviso on any of these top 3 or 4, maybe 5 sides.
To particular players. And
if you just get your best side up at the right time and get them going. I agree. I think they're a chance. The 3 sides we've seen over the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
They're definitely a chance. Haven't seen enough of Essendon. I haven't seen enough of Hawthorn. So I can't really comment on those two. I see Hawthorn play a fair bit, but maybe I'm a entrenched fan who probably thinks, not quite sure yet, I need a bit more convincing.
Well, Hawthorn hasn't taken a scalp yet.
No, they haven't.
That's true.
Whereas
they have not.
But Carlton's just going
Taken a
along.
couple.
Yeah.
If you like form lines, Geelong, Collingwood, Essendon, Carlton. As Carlton drew with Essendon, they got within a kick of Geelong, and they got beaten by the 4 or 5 goals, which is about par.
Yep.
Essendon got beaten by the 4 or 5 goals in the same way that Carlton got by Collingwood, and Geelong beat Collingwood by a kick. The 4 are in the mesh-up.
How's the value for money being a Carlton supporter, all these close games?
Oh, it was
unbelievable.
But despite all of that, it was just great footy. It was really good football, and we did see a couple of big. I was disappointed that we saw a couple of leaps, and Walker sort of swallowed. He did the best leap of the night, and got a surprise when he actually landed in his bread basket and he spilled it out. So we saw a couple of really good climbs as well. But the usage, that bit of football we talked about, 11-minute mark of the second quarter. I'm going to go and find that and play it over this week. And anybody who doesn't think this game's a great game, go and have a look at that. It was just precision usage where they controlled the ball at speed, hand and foot. Marvellous to watch. I get really excited about it.
Come talk to us on Grand